What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the webinar. Holy cow, this is going to be a big one. We have
What's up?
so many of you guys on. Do not sign out or you probably won't be able to get back on. So we are going to be at like capacity, it looks like, which is awesome. Means we're going to have a fun crowd. So, which is good because we're going to do some interactivity. You guys are going to get a chance to potentially make some pretty easy money. We'll talk about that here in a minute while we're on the webinar, or at the end, I should say, which will be cool. So let me just make sure that you guys can hear us. I just want to make sure everything's good there. You should be able to see us. For better or for worse, you're going to have to look at John and I for a little bit. Okay, cool. You guys can see. Good. Tony said loud and clear. What's up, guys? What's up, Lewis, Brian, Diane? I see some names I recognize here. Cool. How many of you, just before we get started here, just people are still piling on, just a quick question. How many of you have been on any of our Beyond Books session webinars? I know a lot of you guys have been on our help sessions and things like that, but have any of you guys been on a Beyond Books webinar before? That's kind of what this is, sort of. We'll talk about that. Okay, so no. A couple of people said I have. Okay, that's good. Okay, most of you, this is going to be like your first Beyond Books. So I'll break down sort of what the concept is as we start, so you guys have an idea of where we're coming with this. All right, so let me, it looks like you guys are ready to rock. Okay, cool. Yes, what we're gonna show you guys, just like with our books methodology, will work pretty much anywhere in the world, unless you're in some weird spot or you know, something. It should work most anywhere. So we're gonna talk about that at the end. Unless you're, I don't even know.
What was that? What was that? Did you see that?
No.
It was like a thumbs down thought bubble. I don't even know what that was. That was weird.
Somebody gave us a thumbs down for that. Okay. No, I didn't do that.
Oh, okay. Maybe it showed up on my screen.
Okay, who's the wise guy? Who did it? Who did it? Listen, if I had to look at John and I'd thumbs down it too, so it's fine. Here's the good news, though. You are going to get to see some faces that look a lot better than John and I tonight. So not to give away the surprise, but you won't have to look at us all night. It's a new AI tool. It happens to me too, and says, okay, cool. Oh, okay. Some of the new updates, Tony says your hand gestures can automatically show thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay. Great.
Really? Oh, wow.
Fantastic. Just what we wanted. Okay. Well, this just got a lot more fun. Good. Okay. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to share my screen. I want to make sure you guys can see it. I got to hide some stuff, though, so it's not in my way.
What are you hiding?
This should be fun if we're having thumbs up and thumbs down.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Okay, so you guys should see. Let me just switch here.
Other screen.
Okay, you guys see it now? Did I flip flop it for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can't see the preview back there, can you? Hopefully I'm not giving my slides away before.
It's just seeing the slides.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. I want to give you guys let you guys see before we're started. Okay, so let's get this thing kicked off. We are literally jam-packed tonight. We are definitely going to hit capacity, I bet, here in just in the next few minutes. So hopefully you guys are excited. Let me tell you why we're excited about this. So you guys are going to learn a brand new method tonight, and it's something that John and I have both personally done very recently and had some crazy success with. That's why we want to bring it to you guys. So much so, I want to tell you how much John and I believe in this, guys. So much so that we are partnering with the experts that showed us how to do this, to build a new community, a new software tool all around this methodology, just like we did with book profits. That's how much we believe in it. So this isn't something that, you know, we're going to show you tonight that it's like, hey, this random guy has success with this and he can show you how to do it, you know, good luck. Quite the opposite of that. In fact, we believe in this so much. Not only are we doing it, but we are partnering to help create and craft a new software tool to help with this, and a community and everything, with the surprise experts we're going to bring on in a little bit. So this is a big deal for us, and you guys are going to be the first to sort of get a sneak peek at what we're putting together here, or one of the first, I'll say, because we've done a little bit of beta testing. So like I said, this is a brand new method, but don't worry, it is very similar to what we all already do with books, and it's just a simple buy low, sell high flipping strategy, right? It's not complex. It doesn't take crazy skills that you don't already have. I mean, this fits perfectly, and you can absolutely do it at the exact same time that you're flipping books with us, okay? So you don't have to worry about any of that. It's not a one or the other. This is a let's do them both type of a scenario, okay? So buy low, sell high, but this is the way it's a little bit different than what we do with books. With books, we're in kind of a medium to low profit per item, high volume game, right? We want to just do tons and tons of books. And of course, there are books that we can make a lot of money on a single book, right? But for the most part, we're playing sort of a medium ROI, medium profit, maybe even low profit, high volume game. This method is sort of the opposite of that. And it's a very high profit, but low volume method, okay? So there are many benefits to that, okay? Number one, there are benefits when you're doing something else that's you know, lower profit and high volume. Then it's always good to diversify, right? What do you diversify into? Something that's higher profit, lower volume, right? And so this is a great fit. But when you're doing something that's really high profit, you don't need that many items to make a lot of money, right? So to get to large amounts of profit, you can do it very quickly with this methodology, and you can actually do it with typically even higher ROI than we get with books, which is crazy. Because our, you know, book ROI returns are insane, especially if you annualize them. So this is a great way to make a lot of money in a very short amount of time with a very few number of items instead of very large numbers of items. Okay, so that's the way. This is a little bit different than what we normally do. All right, everybody following so far? Pretty simple, right? It's a buy low, sell high strategy. Simple. All right, so I do want to mention, make sure that you stick around until the end, because we are actually going to do some live sourcing at the end in you guys' specific zip codes, okay? And you guys are we're gonna ask for some zip codes later at the end, and we're gonna choose some, and we're gonna source live, and you guys literally can, if you're quick on the trigger and you're near the zip code, you can pull the trigger and actually make some money just sitting on the webinar. So that's going to be fun. So make sure you stick around for that. So let me show you some specific examples from my personal experience. And then John has an example he wants to show you from his, and then we'll bring on our experts as well. So this is an example of one of the flips that I did, and I found this in, let me just get this out of the way, near my local area. They were asking $50 for this particular item, okay? And we're, by the way, guys, again, we're gonna do this live. You're gonna hear exactly where we're doing this, all of that. Right now, I just want you to focus on the basic numbers for this and kind of examples that I've got. And we'll talk about the specifics. So they wanted $50. And you guys probably already know where this is now, many of you, when you see this. I sort of negotiated, and I just said, hey, is this thing fully working? Anything broken or missing? And we do cash on pickup? And they said, yep, that sounds good. And so I sourced this for $50, sold it for $1,345 after $272 selling fees on the platform we'll talk about. It's $1,000 profit, okay? on one item. All right, so you see how this is a little bit different than what we do with other flipping strategies, right? This is a high profit game. So one item, $1,000, crazy. And that's profit after the fees, which is insane. So took about 20 minutes, let's say, to source this particular item, to find it. And it took about 2 hours to pick it up, to list it, to pack it and ship. So let's say 2.5, maybe 3 hours worth of work for $1,000 profit. Pretty solid. Kind of crazy. Didn't even have to take my own pictures of the item because I used the listing photos. I didn't even get it. I went ahead and listed it early. I kind of cheated and sold it before I even got my own pictures up, which is crazy. Here's another example. This particular item, they were asking $250. They dropped the price down to $189. I said, would you take $100 cash? And they said yes. So I sourced this particular item for $100, and it is going to have $1,000 profit. Okay. I actually found 4 more of this same item type within an hour-and-a-half drive, and all of them I was able to purchase for less than $200 each. They will all sell for, I mean, $750 on the low end, over $1,000 on the higher end. So I'm going to make around $5,000 profit selling this same item just 5 times, because I found 5 of them. And these actually pop up pretty often. So this will, if I kind of keep my eye out, this could be an easy, regular income stream. And again, when you're making $1,000 a pop, you only have to sell 5 items to do $5,000 a month, right? You do 1 a week and you're killing it, right? Just 1. So that's just 1 item, right? That's how crazy this gets. Now, here's another example. This is a different item, okay? And they were offering it for $200, sourced it, purchased for $200. This one sells for $2,500 all day long. We're talking about a $2,000 profit for this particular item that I found. All right, now there was only 1 available, but $2,000 profit for 1 click is not too shabby, right? Here's another item. Found this one for, it was $2,000. They marked it down to $1,100. That's a good sign. You might be able to negotiate even lower, right? I actually sourced it for $600. These things sell all day long on the marketplace where we sell, which you're going to learn in a minute, for $5,500. Actually, several were $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. So let's just say $5,500. We know it's going to move. That's a $4,000 profit on 1 item, right? Pretty powerful. That's huge. So from my personal experience and personally sourcing and using this method, we're looking at $10,000 plus in the very first week of sourcing these items. And that was really only finding 3 different items, right? Several of one and then 1 of each of the others. Okay, so that's pretty darn powerful. So that was in a week, because I was like, what can I do in a week? I'm going to keep my eye open. Not going to work very hard doing this. I mean, obviously we have all kinds of other things we're doing in the book business and all that. So not like I did this full time, but I was like, okay, let's do this for a week. Did that. That was my results for the week. Then right after that, just a couple of days later, another item popped up. They were asking $500. Dropped the price to $300. I think I sourced it for $200. Yes, $200 I asked, and got it cash on pickup. Sourced this item for $200. It'll sell for over $500, so not as high of a margin, but just another quick, easy one that just happened to pop up. But here was the cool thing that happened with this one, which is pretty cool. The lady that we got this from ended up having 2 of them. And she's like, well, I actually have another one, and it's just a little bit different model. It just had 1 different feature. And she's like, would you like that one too? I was like, yeah, if you'll take $200 for that, I'll take them both for $4. Done deal. It's $1,000 plus. The second one was actually a better flip, funny enough, but $1,000 plus profit coming with this. So just in a little bit over a week, I'm looking at $11,000 sourcing these things and just a handful of items, which is crazy. That's just insane. So that was kind of my experience, what I found. And John, are you able to see the screen from, if you want to talk about yours, or do you
Yeah.
want me to? Okay. I didn't know if you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
see the live screen or not, but
Yeah.
why don't you come on and talk about your flip? John's flip is really cool, and the way he did it is cool. So John, I'll hit you with, I don't know if you can see this first slide, but this is your
Yeah.
negotiation. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, so here's the cool thing about this. I was probably, well, actually, I was really lazy. We, I didn't want to, I actually did, we found this and I was like, man, I don't want to drive to go get it. So, my son asked me if I was going to go get it or if I'd done the deal or whatever. And I said, no. And he said, well, I'm going to do it. I'm like, all right, fine, you do it. So that's actually his text message right there on the left. He was negotiating. So they were asking $300 and he says, would you be willing to take $100 for this? If so, I'd be able to pick it up this weekend. I mean, he was, well, 17, I guess, here, but, and anyway, she came back at 150. And so that's what he agreed to. So he picked up, this particular item. They wanted 300. He got it down, to $150. All right. So it's about an hour away. So we ended up picking it up. I helped him pick it up. Somehow it turned into, hey, you go do this. And then now it's both of us going to do it, but whatever. Um, I didn't mind, at least. He was on the trip. So we went and picked it up and brought it home, and then still was a little lazy because this was probably around Christmas time or a little bit before Christmas time. And so I was like, we'll get up eventually. We'll list it. So it sat for a little bit. And that's on me. But we finally listed on January 8th, as it shows there. And we were asking $2,500. Remember, we paid $150 for this. So $2,500 listed on January 8th on the platform we'll talk about here in a minute. And then it literally sold 20 days later. And in between, I actually had a couple other people request, or ask about it or whatever. But anyway, sold 20 days later for $26.93.75 because of some taxes and stuff. But anyway, it sold for asking price in less than 20 days, basically, from when I listed it. And so my son was pretty stoked because apparently he gets the profit, but somehow I just got the expenses and he got the profit. But this is how it broke down. So we sold for 2,500. Like I said, it was 26.93, but that's just because there were some sales taxes. But we purchased for 150. The seller fees were 337 or 357. I went and bought some shipping supplies, and then this was going pretty far away. It was actually going across the country. So the shipping fee on this was a little bit higher, and it was a bigger item. And then, throw in some gas because we had to drive about 2 hours to get this. But anyway, at the end of the day, for a couple hours work, I didn't make jack, but he made $1,390 profit. So, but I did get to spend some time with him, so I guess I won in that way. But anyway, that was our first one that we did. Now, you would think he would be stoked to go do some more, but it has been his senior year and he got senioritis pretty bad. So hopefully this summer he's gonna pick up the steam on this and get back to it. But so anyway, but that was the only one that he's done so far. But that's kind of the breakdown on it. It was pretty cool. It worked awesome. Worked way better than I thought it was going to work, to be honest with you. In terms of like how long it took to sell it, it happened fast.
Yeah. So I mean, that kind of give you guys an idea. So John's was a really high profit one, which was cool. Sourced it for $150 and listed it and sold it for 2,500. And so that's a grand slam, right? Even after fees and everything, that's a crazy ROI.
Yeah.
So
10x almost.
Yeah. I mean, so like between the two of us, we're looking at like in the first week, and John sourced his about the same time I did my stuff too. You know, I found 11,000 worth of profit, but I did several items and was looking regularly. John just said, I'm going to focus on this one. And, you know, Sam and I are going to do this one, and did 1,300. So the bottom line is we have personal experience with the methodology, and it freaking works, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. This works,
Yeah.
and it works really, really well. And it is an awesome method. So we got really excited about this, right? We're like, okay, this is cool. And how can we, you know, scale? How can we do other things? And like I said, we're so excited about it. We're partnering with the experts we're going to bring on in a minute to show you guys how to do this. And going to try to create some software tools and a community. And just like we've done with Book Profits, that's how excited we are about this. So, you know, how could you not be excited about that much profit that fast, that few of items, right? It's pretty much a no-brainer. So before I bring on our sort of our secret weapon, folks that we learned how to do this from, is we want you guys to learn directly from who we learned it from. Why does this work, right? Why are we able to? I mean, why is John able to pay $150 for something and then turn around and sell it for $2,500? That doesn't seemingly make common sense, right? It's like, what? How does that even happen? So just to kind of give you an idea, it is similar to what we do with books. And what I mean by that is we're really leveraging a pricing difference between two marketplaces. And when I say marketplaces, I just basically mean website or, you know, store or whatever you want to call it. So, you know, like with any item you buy low, sell high, you're going to buy it from place A at a low price and turn around and sell it at place B for a high price. Many different reasons why place A might be cheaper than place B. But this particular scenario, there are a couple of very specific reasons why there is a big price difference between the two places where we buy and where we sell. And when the experts come on, they'll probably have a little bit more to say on this, because they obviously know a lot more about this than we do, have been doing it for a long time. But this is basically the method, okay? We're finding items on Facebook Marketplace. That's where we're sourcing. Many of you already knew that, right? You could tell that was Facebook messages when we were doing our negotiation, right? And then we're turning around and flipping the items on eBay. Now, this isn't the only place to do it, right? Just like with books, sometimes we source Amazon to Amazon. Sometimes we source books to Amazon. Sometimes we source eBay to Amazon for books, or whatever it is. So there are multiple options for this, but for the main strategy that we're focusing on here, and that we did, it's marketplace to eBay. Here's a couple of reasons why there's a huge price difference. When you search for an item on Facebook Marketplace, you're looking in your local geographic area. And when you do a search, the typical average search, you know, the number of people, the population in that area is going to be, you know, somewhere in the 30 to 60,000 people range typically, unless you really search a giant area or something, or a very tiny area. So let's just call it 50,000 eyeballs typically. So only 50,000 people could potentially even maybe possibly see it if they're on Marketplace, if they happen to stumble on it. Marketplace doesn't have the greatest search, all those things, right? So it's a decent number of people. You make sales and it's cool, but it's not very many when you compare to the marketplace we're selling, which is eBay, where there's 134 million eyeballs, right? And people that are very intentionally, you know, searching to buy. All right. So what we're doing is we're taking an item from a place where it's not a gigantic market, which usually means lower prices, right? If we can only put it in front of 50,000 people, we can only command a certain price, versus if we can put it in front of 134 million people, that's a big potential price difference that we can command, right? And part of the other big, like, sort of trick to this method that makes this work is not just the size difference in the marketplaces where we're selling, or the way the marketplaces work, but also it's in the types of items themselves. And what I mean by that is typically these are bulky, larger items that people are really just wanting to get rid of, right? So it's not like a tiny little, I don't know, like a cell phone or something. I mean, you can do cell phone flips, by the way, on Marketplace. It's a great category, so that's probably not a good idea, but like, I don't know, some little item, right? Some little tool or something. Well, that many people might go ahead and post on eBay or ship it or some other scenario. But some of these larger, more commercial, bigger, bulky type items, people just want to get rid of them, right? They don't have a great way to, they don't know how to ship. They certainly don't know how to ship at any kind of reasonable rate to where it would make sense to even sell it that way. So what we're doing is we're sort of taking advantage of that too, and leveraging that, because people just want to get rid of this stuff, right? I mean, you saw like most of the time they're dropping their prices. It's not a big market, so nobody wants to come get it, that sort of thing. They're like sometimes giving these things away. They're going to show you some examples where that actually happened. So we're also taking advantage of that. So we're taking advantage of kind of a perfect storm. It's like the marketplaces allow a big difference in what we can command for pricing, and because we're shipping, we can get in front of so many more people. And the item types themselves also really lend itself to this, where people just don't want to mess with it. They want to get rid of it. They don't know how they could possibly ship, right? And that's the way that works. Okay. So we're taking advantage of a couple of different important factors that make this work. All right. So hopefully that makes sense, because I know I would have been like, wait, why, how does this work? Right? Why is there such a price difference? Well, that's why. Okay. And some of the reasons why. There are more, but that's the main reasons why. So here's what I want to do. Again, we're going to do some we're going to do some live sourcing for you guys, but we want to show you exactly how we learned how to do this, and who we learned this from. We had a couple of secret weapons. We were not the geniuses behind figuring this strategy out and picking out this niche and figuring it out. We had a couple secret weapons show us how to do this. All right. And we want to bring them on and let you guys learn from them and kind of hear their system and their story and what they've done and how this works. So we want you guys to meet Rob and Melissa. And this is them and a picture of their family. And they have been doing this for a very long time and are just truly amazing at this. I mean, just the experience, the knowledge, the way that they've carved this particular niche out to find this sort of, hate to use the fancy term, right, but arbitrage play, the difference in pricing, all this, it's amazing, right? And so they've really been able to carve out and make a good living doing this and travel and have a lot of fun. They travel so much. John and I are jealous. They're always traveling somewhere. They're rubbing it in our face. So like I said, we're going to do some live sourcing demos and stuff too. But that being said, I want to shut up. You guys kind of heard and saw John and I's experience. I want to turn it over to the real experts that really know how to do this and let them sort of walk you through their side of things, their story, and some of the things that they've been able to do with this and some specific items that you guys can see. So that being said, you guys, are you there? I'm gonna pass it over to you, let you kind of take this part away.
We are here.
Can
Awesome.
you see us okay?
Awesome. Let's see. Yep, there you go. There you go. I'm gonna hide my cam so you guys are the main thing here. So
Awesome. We will figure out how to share the screen while Melissa's doing that. Luke, John, you guys are amazing. I get so excited, more excited when I see other people finding these flips and flipping them. So I'm so excited that you guys have executed and you've done it, and everybody else who's here right now, thanks for letting us come on and just share this method with you guys. We have so much fun doing this. So hopefully it will show throughout tonight that we just have a blast. We have a blast doing this. It's so much fun to be able to do this. I'm like a kid. I'm dyslexic too. A kid in a candy store when it comes to doing this. So hopefully you guys will get a sneak peek on kind of how we do business, how we do this, and hopefully, yeah, you guys can duplicate it as well. It's just so much fun to do. So, all right, can everybody see?
No, hold on, I'm trying to do slideshow. All right, I think we're on. Are we on? Do I have
yep,
my?
we got you. We can see it. That looks great. You guys are rocking.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So this is kind of where we want to start. This is the flip that changed the trajectory of our business. This is a table and chair with a buffet set that I bought at a local auction. At the time, this is roughly about 10 years ago. At the time, Melissa and I both had a crossroads that we were dealing with. We had to decide if we were going to, my company I was working with was pulling away my health insurance, and Melissa, we were having our third child. So Melissa was going to step away from her job of personal training
And be home with 3 kids, 3 and under, because it was insane.
Crazy. So this is the flip that really changed our trajectory of our business. And you can see it. We bought it at a local auction. Typically up until this point. So if you guys don't know, I've been, it's almost 3 decades now. I've been flipping items. Larger items that I found, I would buy them and then I would turn around and sell them on Facebook Marketplace because I didn't know how to do anything else. Well, this one right here, we bought it at a local auction, beautiful set, and I thought, okay, there's no way I can't double my money on this investment. We paid $350 for it, and I was hoping, I listed it for $750 on Facebook Marketplace, hoping to take $700 and double my investment, but crickets. For a couple months, we could not sell this. Then I started doing some research on eBay, and I looked at other table and chair sets, and I started to see something in common with the ones that were selling. The sellers were offering shipping, and that was why these table and chairs, these type of table and chair sets were selling. So I decided, if they can do it, I have to be able to figure out how to do it myself. And that's when I put this thing on eBay, sold it in less than 30 days for $2,200. And that was the amazing part of, okay, maybe there's something more to finding these items in the local market and then bringing them to a bigger market, like Luke just said, getting more eyeballs on it for the interested people who really want it, and then being able to ship this item to them. So this was the turning point in our business, really seeing this high profit flipping that we really got excited about. And then ever since, for the last 10 years, we've really been dialing everything that has to do with the high profit flipping and getting into this ourselves with our business.
I wanted to add too, like that's one thing that you've always said. You saw somebody had sold something and shipped it. Like, well, if I really sell this for over $2,000, I'm going to figure out how to ship it. So that's what you made happen. And then this is just a screenshot of one of our 90-day totals, just kind of show you an average of our average sale price. So we do the lower volume but higher profit items. So in this screenshot, only 28 items sold for 90 days, but that was over $2,000 per item. So we pretty much averaged that over and over again. So,
and the cool thing is, you saw Luke, you saw him tally up how many hours are invested into one of these high profit flips. And typically it's the same for us. We're only working this right now, we're working this part-time, maybe 5 to 10 hours a week, but you can flip one of these higher profit flips between 2, 3, 4, 5 hours on a single item, and sometimes the profit is insane that you're able to get out of these. So it's really cool. This is our business model, and we really enjoy doing it because of the time that it saves us to be able to spend with our family, do more stuff, and then make still a really dent in our finances by selling these higher profit items.
Yeah, so this was our average for last year was 92,000, or not average, sorry, our sales were 92,000, and it was $2,077 or $2,007 per item for the full year. So and that ended up being like $72,000 profit. So
yeah, so and maybe some of you guys can relate to this. I feel like I am a party waiting to happen. I'm not a workaholic. This was actually a conference Melissa and I went to. This was in Arizona, and anytime we go somewhere, like Luke just said, we like traveling, we like doing stuff. I try to make it into a game. When we're on the road, can I pay for our hotel? Can I pay for something by finding some items in the local area? And these are two of the items that are, sorry, one of the items that we found was this Nordic track. It was listed in the local market on Facebook Marketplace, or it could have been OfferUp. Okay, Marketplace. Yeah. And I reached out to the guy and asked him if it was still available. He told me it was. We actually went and picked it up. And when we went there, I even offered to give the guy $20 to say, hey, can I buy you a Firehouse sub? And he's like, you are doing me a favor by getting this out of my house. It was taking up too much room. I wasn't using it. My wife wasn't using it. So he was just happy for us to take it off his hands. And then we turned around and we sold it for $350. And that was the first thing that we sold when we were at this conference. That's me sitting in the couch in the hotel room, trying to find what I can do. And then the second thing we were able to find at this conference was this downdraft. So we bought this for $30, and I didn't even worry about offering this seller anything less because I knew it was such a great deal. But we bought it for $30, and then we turned around and sold it for $1,000. And I didn't make the full amount for
$100 off.
I was for the hotel that we stayed in for this conference. I think we were just about $100 off on it, but we still recouped a lot of the money just by finding these two items, and we're able to turn around and sell them. So really cool.
And we do love to travel and find things on the road. And this is probably one of our favorite road trip finds that we did. So, and it's a really random item, but it was super cool.
This one it gets me excited because I love to be able to find these. Definitely not our most expensive flip, but one that is very memorable to me. This was a bus wash. So if you can't tell what this thing is, it is made to wash buses, and you can see the picture in the middle is it actually spinning. So on both sides of this is handles, and you walk this around the bus while it's spinning, and it washes a bus. It's a mobile bus wash. So we were coming back on one of our road trips, and I saw this. It was advertised on Facebook Marketplace for $1,000. I think the guy had it listed for like 3 or 4 months. Did not get any bites whatsoever. I sent him an offer of $500, and he told me that he would take it. He wrote me back really quick and said he would take it. So we ended up getting this for $500 and then turning around and selling it on eBay for $14,500. And the reason why it worked was just like Luke was saying. The local market where this guy was, nobody needed a bus wash. But when you spread it out and put it on eBay to all these different eyeballs that somebody across the country is going to need, then they're able to see it. And I was able to give the guy a huge discount on this because retail on this is like $25,000. There was only 3 hours on it. It was still like brand new. So he got it for $14,500 and saved a lot of money on it. So really, really cool that we're able to do this for sure.
I was going to say that's another reason why this works is because we're selling it roughly around 50% of retail. So somebody's still getting a great deal, but there's still a lot of profit to be made. And another point to the items being on eBay is that they also get SEO. So they get SEO from Google. We get a lot of people, like there's probably even this guy searching for a bus wash, you know, looking for one, and then an eBay listing can pop up on Google because the SEO is there from eBay.
Yeah, that's such a huge point. You're not only getting eBay registered users on eBay's eyeballs, you're getting them into top Google searches for people searching for a specific thing, which even just quadruples your eyes on these type of items. So
that's
really, really cool.
huge. That's I didn't even mention that, guys. That's huge. For those of you that don't know what SEO means, it basically means your item appears in Google search results. So when people are searching for something like this, your eBay listing will appear in Google's search engine results, which is crazy. That's just SEO just stands for search engine optimization, for those of you that don't know. So anyway, sorry, I just had to throw that in there. That's a huge point.
That's great. Yeah.
So here are a couple of our flips. We flip very random stuff. So I don't really have a rhyme or a reason or a specific item that I look for. I look for a really good deal. If you look at the majority of these, you'll see free, you'll see 10, you'll see $42. I'm finding these items as cheap as I possibly can get them for, so I have a huge upswing. Our money is always made in the buy, the cheapest I can get these items. And I can't pass this slide without telling you one of my favorites on this one. If you can see the bottom left-hand side, the second one in, that's an ice cream, soft serve ice cream machine. I sourced that on a local app, who a lady listed it, and she listed it for free. I had no idea. I thought it was fake at first. So I reached out immediately and said, hey, is this still available? I'd like to come and pick it up. She wrote me back and said, yes. I jumped in my truck, I got my little trailer, and I drove up and picked it up. When I got there, I asked her, so why are you giving this away? What's wrong with this? And she said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. This is almost in brand new condition, but I bought it 6 months ago, and I didn't know it took a different power source than what is in my coffee shop right now. I'm tired of it sitting in my storage, the back of my storage room. I want to have the space back, so I just wanted somebody to come and pick it up. So I said, I can do that. I did it. It was on wheels. I wheeled it out and put it on the back of my trailer, and I brought it back, and then we sold that for $8,500 on eBay. So it was in the local market. We got it for free. We turned around and we sold on eBay for $8,500. But that just shows you the potential of what is out there. Not even having to pay for some of these items that you can get for dirt cheap or nothing, and then turn around and make really big profits on them.
No, we don't like to invest a lot.
I don't.
No, we definitely don't. This is Stacy. She was what was our first member to hit over $100,000, and she follows Rob's method to a T. She definitely follows everything that he does and started selling these. That $3,000 sale was her first sale with us, right? That was her first sale.
Yes.
And then, but she started her whole business only with a 50-cent item,
Hubcap.
right?
Yep. 50-cent hubcap she picked up from a yard sale, turned around, and I think she sold it for like $80, and that was her bankroll for this whole business. That's all the money that she spent on this business, and since then she's gone and made over $250,000 doing this type of model. And this is not her full-time gig. She just does this on the side, makes really, really good money, and she's amazing at it. And then Joanna, so the cool part about Joanna is she lived really close to Stacy, and she was watching Stacy find all these things, and she couldn't find them, and she didn't know why. And she changed her mindset and started looking in her area for looking a different way for some of these items. And then you can see some of the flips that she did. She grew so much. It was so much fun to watch her grow and her business as well.
And then Tony also sells a lot of these higher profit items she gets so many of these for free. She just finds them there's so many things out there that people give away. People want these things gone. They just want you to take them. So we get a lot of stuff for really cheap or free, which is pretty cool. And yeah, this one sold for $750.
Oh, Lisa, this was so exciting because Lisa came to us and she did not have a truck. She did not have a trailer, which if you don't know this, you don't need a truck. You don't need a trailer to do this business. Not at all. Lisa came to us that way.
Apartment too.
She was in an apartment and she had, she came to us and wanted to really learn this model. We helped her find this item. It was a combo, microwave oven combo. Found it for free because somebody updated their kitchen. Maybe you can relate to that.
On the apps, right?
Yep. They updated their kitchen. They didn't want to throw it away. They wanted to go to good use. So we've helped Lisa find this. She actually got it. She turned around, sold it for $1,000, and I think her total profit, well, yeah, $600 or around $600 profit after everything's said and done off of this one item, this one flip. So cool to be able to see people actually execute and really get results.
Yeah, she had no tools, no truck, no trailer, but even just like renting it, she still made over $600.
Yep.
So, which was really cool. I think that is
awesome.
Stop sharing. Wait, do I stop sharing my screen here?
Yeah, you can. Guys, oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. So here's where it gets really fun. We are actually going to do some live sourcing in your guys' zip codes that you call out, right? We're gonna do that here in a second. Don't put them in now because you won't be part of the search when we do it. So hold on. The reason we want to kind of do this, want to take you through the process of not only sourcing or searching, finding a couple items, but we also want to show you how they determine and how we've determined like what you're going to be able to sell an item for, right? Obviously, you want to make sure you're getting the item at a good deal. You want to make sure you understand about what it sells for. So we want you guys to see how that works as well. That way, you know the whole process. So that said, here's what we need to do. I want you guys to put in your zip code or something near you, and we're going to pick a couple of these and see if we can find some deals. And I'm going to pull this up here so that I can pick a random one with my thumb. Make it easy. Okay, holy crap, we got so many zip codes coming in. All right, so let's try one. I'm going to just do this. Okay, boom. All right, first zip code. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me write it down because I went to switch over.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, 85142. 85142.
All right, so now I'm going to share my screen again.
Yep,
right?
so if we share the screen, we're going to jump in and look in that area and see what we can find.
So I just hit show, right? Sorry. Okay, let's see.
There you
Can
go.
you see?
Yep, we can see it. Perfect.
Okay, cool. So then here's your.
And if you're not familiar with how to source a marketplace, this is exactly, we're going to jump in. We're changing the area right here because I want it to go to the zip code that I need. We're going to jump in here and I'm going to put 85142. 142. And it looks like it is in Arizona. I'm doing a 60-mile radius. Typically, the cool thing is, hopefully we'll find something in this area. You can go down further if you want, but 60 miles is typically what I want to start with and see what I can find because I want high profit there that it's going to suffice if I do have to drive for 30, 45 minutes to get to somewhere. So, all right, we're doing that. Now we're going to go ahead and let me move this. Can you help me? Can I get this out of the way?
I don't know if you can minimize it. Look, can I put it on this side of
Maybe.
the screen? Will that help
Then
you?
I can't go to it.
What? Oh, hold on.
Oh, trying to get the GoToWebinar thing
Yeah,
out
trying
of
to
your
figure the video out. Sorry to get it off of there.
All right.
Cool.
I think that's good.
Perfect. Now, my favorite way to source is jump in and then start looking just at the pictures. The reason I do this is because you can type in a search and you can go look at search titles or brand names or stuff like that. But some people list without putting anything about the item. They just take pictures and list it's an oven, or they list it's an exercise machine or something like that, and you can't find it. So sometimes I just like to scroll through and see what I can find just off the pictures. And right now I'm just going to scroll through and look. Typically what we like looking for the most is appliances. We find a really good deal on appliances because you can find some high-end appliances that are worth a lot of money, and people will give them away sometimes when they update their kitchen or do something like that. So, and if you come down and look, I'm going to look, if you see these like home decor, electronics, I'm going to try to get, they're major appliances. So that's my starting point when I actually jump in and do this. So I'm going to jump into major appliances. and see what I can see. Now we'll jump through. And now the other thing that I start looking for is I look for a lower price, typically $500 or less. I'm usually offering them a lot less than what they're asking for it. But that's where I start. That's what catches my eye first. Something that looks expensive and something that is about $500. Sometimes I'll find something a little bit more if it looks really, really expensive, and we'll send another offer in. But right off the bat, I mean, I'm not even having to scroll that far. There are some really, really good ones right here. This Thermador has potential. This range and set right here has potential. But I'm going to go to the one that I think has the most potential, and that's this one. So this is a commercial combi oven. It's like this is for a restaurant. You can see the rest of these typically are residential. So I know the retail price on this. You remember, $500 less, that's where I'm at. You can see they started at this at $2,500. They're down to $500. So right now we're going to click on this, and we can look through the pictures. We can read the description, all the stuff with it. He started out, he even dropped it to $1,500, price negotiable. He's even doing a video showing that it's working. I love it. That's awesome. Go through the pictures. Now, what I want to do is I want to find out. I'm not a gambler. I don't want to gamble on this. I want to find out what I think what this is worth. This definitely can be cleaned up more, make it look nicer, to get more money out of it. Oh, cool. So I didn't even. He's even got the manual with that. I mean the model number with that. So my next step is to jump over here, and I want to go to eBay. If I go, hopefully that it's transferring over. I can see it's a Rational Ultra Vent. Oops. Hope that popped up for me. And my first thing to do is to see if there's any listings on eBay, active listings with this title. And you can see the other way I like to do it as well is I'll come here, go to highest first. And you can see this is a similar looking one, but it's a different hood. It's a really, really big hood. But this is good. This is good no matter what. You can see $44.50 with $600 on shipping. So right around $5,000. This one right here, I think this is just the vent hood, and it is at $4,000. It is just the vent hood on it. So that's just the top portion of it, which is great too. Really worth a lot of money. So there's not a lot of competition here for this. So let's jump over. The next thing that you want to do is you want to look at completed listings. So that's this. It's going to show in the last 90 days, it's going to show us what has actually sold on eBay. And there's only 2 items with the Rational Ultra Vent right there. In this one, you can tell it's a little bit bigger. You can see, I think it's a little bit taller, it looks like, than what we're actually dealing with. But it's okay. It is, the price range is ridiculous. This is awesome. This is what we really look for, is just a higher price. So the other thing that we can do, let me get back out of here. Why is it not letting me pull this fully up? Seller's other items. It won't let me, oh, there we go. So yeah, you can see this one looks a little bit taller on that, but it has a similar hood on it. That's really what we're dealing with, is something like that. So let's go out of here. Now, the other way, if you can't find any comps on eBay, which this is enough for me, knowing it's $500, I'm going to send an offer on this for $250. That's where I'm going to start off. $250 on that. I'm going to try to get it for $250, and then I'm going to turn around. The other thing that I like to do is come over here and let's do a Google search. I'm going to copy and paste that into Google. I don't know if it's an Ultra Plus, and see what we can find for some items that is, and it's showing the hoods. These are all the hoods that they're selling for $4,000, $7,000. I want the whole thing. Here's one right here, a Combi 21,000. That's the hood and the oven itself. Let's see if there's any other ones in here, but it gives you an idea. So kind of like we talked about with the bus wash, 50% of retail, depending on price of, depending on a condition of the item, that's typically where we start. If it's in really, really good condition, we might go over, like the bus wash, we went a little bit over 50% of retail because it was in really, really good condition, low hours. Same thing if we can clean this up and make it look really, really good, I would start with this one right here. I would start it at $7,500. And then watch and see what happens with it, how many watches you get if you send out offers and stuff like that. So this one's amazing. I would absolutely love this. $250. all day long. I would offer 250, and I would even go 300 or 400 bucks on this, knowing that you have $7,500, come down to 5,000 if you have to. My goal when I do this is 10xing my investment. That's what I want to do, is 10x. If I invest $500, I want to make sure that I'm making $5,000. Same thing, $100, you want to make $1,000. That's really what our goal is with these items that we're finding. So
amazing.
All right, Luke, I can either jump in and start doing some more of these, or if you want to give me another area, if you got another zip.
Let's do another one, because somebody's going to grab that one. Holy cow, guys. Like, that's just, I mean, I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. So, okay. So next one, let me thumb here. Okay. All right. You ready for the next one?
Ready.
Okay. Looks like Andy here. So 19350.
19350. 19350, Pennsylvania. All right, let's see what we got. We're still at that 60-mile radius, so I'm going to apply. It should update my whole screen, hopefully.
Did you say you prefer to do it on the phone versus the computer?
Yeah, I didn't say that. So my wife was just saying that, yeah, it's a lot easier to source on the phone versus the computer. I have a lot better, it's just easier. It's faster to source on the phone. So if I stumble around a little bit, it's because it's on the computer and I'm not actually on my phone. But when we travel, when I relax at night, my way of relaxing is sitting in the lazy boy and scrolling Facebook Marketplace and finding a $5,000 deal. That's what I like to do. I enjoy that, but I do it for my phone. I don't use my computer. So like I said, bear with me if I do stumble around a little bit on the computer itself. So
another great advantage, you can do it from your phone. You know, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's showing me, I think, am I still, okay, so I'm still in appliances right here. If I hit this button, it's going to take me back to the feed, the normal feed, and it should show me all the stuff in the normal feed. And I'm not partial. I mean, I like appliances, but if I find something else that looks commercial, looks expensive, then I'll start doing some research on those too. So let me see what we got here. I'm going to scroll through here, see what pictures come up on this. This is a good one right here, but let's keep looking. Another one. So you can see some of the things. That's the other thing about Facebook that is really cool. When you start searching items on Facebook, or you start finding items on Facebook, it's a smart feed. It starts throwing you more of those items, which is really, really cool. So you're not having to work as hard. Facebook starts doing work for you and starts to throw you more of those items. So I'm going to keep going. See if anything piques my eye. I can go back to appliances, or we can keep searching. Let's do appliances. That's an easy place for me to start, because there's a lot of upswing on appliances. Okay, this one is priced $500. It's priced at the right price. I know it's an expensive brand. Let me see if there's anything else that catches my eye. And this is the other thing is, like I said, I'm looking for something that looks commercial. I'm looking for something that has a low asking price. So let's go and check that out. And the other, well, let's, you know, before we do that, I'm going to show you kind of search. Let's do this. Search word. See, you can see some of my search words right here. Let's do commercial. And that popped up really. You remember I told you that oven that we found, commercial stuff has huge high retail. That's what we're looking for, is a high retail price on these items. So right off the bat, I can see a commercial dishwasher. I've sold dishwashers. I like commercial dishwashers. Residential dishwashers, not so much, unless it's a really high-end brand. But a couple of these, I mean, this is a good one right here. There's multiple things. Cleveland Steamer, that's a good one. So there's quite a few in here, but I'm going to take this one because it's the lowest. Remember, we're looking for the lowest price that we can find that has the highest upswing. So from my experience, this is saying it's an industrial dishwasher. Listed 2 weeks ago, $200. That's a great starting point. Now, what I'm going to do, the same thing, we're going to go over to eBay, and it looks like this has got to be the brand. I'm going to jump over to eBay and do a quick search, and we'll do I think it was CMA. And I know it's a dishwasher, so, oh, I added a letter, sorry. So some of them come up right off the bat. I love it. The one has sold. It's brand new at $5,200. It might not be the same exact model, but you can see this is only the size of a regular dishwasher inside of a house, maybe a tiny bit bigger, but you can see it's not very big. Easy to put onto a dolly, move around, not very difficult to do at all. This one's very similar. You can see it looks like it's I don't know the exact same model, but you can see this is a very, very similar dishwasher. So when you see all the green prices, mean these have sold. I'm not in active listings. I'm actually in sold listing for the last 90 days. So this one actually sold, and you can see they took an offer on that. When you see a line cross through it, it means they didn't sell for $3,300, but they sold it to something close. Somebody sent them an offer on it, and they took a less price for it. So this one's a bigger one. We're not really looking for the larger ones. I'm trying to find something similar to that type, that exact type. This is similar, has at $1,500. And then drops down to $500 for a little bit bigger one. So I'm going to go with, let me jump over and look at what the active listings are, because this is how I also find what I'm going to price it for, the other active listings that are out there. I want to know that. And you're going to are showing me brand new listings. Let's get out of that. I want to do used. So I want to do apples to apples. We want to make good comparisons. So used, and you remember we're sorting by highest. I like to do that. Saves my search time down. Highest to lowest. These are all looking a little bit different, so I can't use those as comps. Okay, so this one's similar. They're asking $3,750. They're willing to ship. This is very, very important. You have to do apples to apples. You have to see that whoever is selling this, they are willing to ship, because if they're not willing to ship, they're not going to get the price. It's the same thing as listing it on Facebook Marketplace. You're going to be limited to your local market, and you might not reach the people you need to reach. So, okay, so $3,750, a little over $4,000, right around $4,000. A local pickup. Now this person right here, this is a different one, but you can see they're asking 4,000, but they're not willing to ship. So that's what we want to look for. We want to be able to execute on that as well. So bigger, $2,800, so a little over $3,000. Love it. That's good. And you can see that's very similar to the same design, same size as that. Similar 3,000 local pickup. They're not willing to ship it, but you can still see similar design. So this is the only one I'm really competing with. I'm trying to find the lowest so I can see what price I can actually sell this for. $2,500, not willing to ship. They won't ship. It's local pickup only. This is a different one. And then you get into this. So I'm only really competing. If I buy this, I'm only really competing with this person right here, and they're just over $3,000. So I can go in this. I can send an offer. We can look at pictures. They didn't get the greatest pictures, which is good on my part. I look for pictures, poor pictures. That's how I get better deals on it. And I'm going to go in and offer $100 on this. Whoever's in this area, I'd offer $100 for this. And I'll take it one step further. And I'm going to show you exactly how I send my offers when I do this. And I would do, hello, would you take 100 cash tomorrow? And then that's exactly how I send it. That's all that I do. And no.
Oh, okay.
I just wrote it in to show you exactly how I would do it. So I write that in, I send it. And then if you do have any questions about the item, don't send the questions first. Send the offer. Once they come back and say yes or no, that's when you can ask questions. Is it complete? Is everything working on it? All those questions before you go pick it up. But you want to let them know that you're interested, you're ready to go, and you have the cash. So that one right there, I don't know whose area that is. That is definitely a good one. $100, $2,500, maybe even up to $3,000, but it will sell quickly, quicker than anything else out there, because you're underneath that price, and it will suffice that price for that. So, all right, let's go ahead, and you want to jump into another, or what do you want to do, Luke? Am I taking too long?
I'll tell you what, let's save. No, that's good. We'll answer a few questions, but let's save our last zip code until the end. All right. We'll do a grand finale at the end and do one more zip code. So that's awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for going through that, Rob. That was awesome. So guys, this is not a rocket science type scenario. We're just taking advantage of the fact that we're getting in front of more eyeballs, that people aren't just want to get rid of these things. They aren't willing to ship these things. And we're again, as Melissa mentioned, it's ranking in the search engines when we move it over and sell it on a place like eBay. So we just have all these advantages, right? And you're looking at one item, gosh, several $1,000s on just those two items that Rob just found in like 10 minutes. That's insane, ridiculous. And looking to 10 times your money every time you buy something is absolutely insane. I mean, I don't know of any other strategy where you can even come close to that, right? So this is crazy. So let me get to, let's get into some more detail here, and then we'll do another zip code toward the end. Let's see here. All right, let me share my screen now. All right. So at this point, a lot of you guys are like, okay, how do I do this? How do you know, what have you guys put together? So as I said, we believe in this so much that we're partnering, John and I are partnering with Rob and Melissa to like create a whole community and write some software tools to help with this and all that. You guys would be the first to hear about those types of things as well. But this just works so well. John and I made so much so quickly. We're like, we got to show you guys how to do this so you can start making some cash right away, right? So for the time being, we've partnered with Rob and Melissa. We'll be continuing to build on this methodology with software and a community and all of that. In the meantime, we've put together something really cool so that you guys can learn how to do it just like we did. So let me close this out of the way so I can see what I'm doing here. So we want to introduce to you guys Flipper University. And Flipper University is going to be basically sort of, you know, the training and strategy and methodology tools, contacts. We're going to talk about that being really important in a minute. Same stuff that John and I had access to basically to make this work, but even more actually than we did. So that's kind of cool. So here's what you're going to get with Flipper University and how we're kind of starting this community off. All of Rob and Melissa's details, information on their sourcing secrets, where they source. Again, Marketplace is great, but there are other apps that they use very regularly, other things. So there are several places to source. So the best places to source, how to find items on apps fast, and how to negotiate to get the lowest price. Rob gave you some good tips already, right? Come out of the gate with your offer. Don't ask them a bunch of questions. You know, it's so many people on Marketplace, just, you know, they're just asking questions and then they disappear, right? So lots of specific negotiation strategies there to get the lowest price. Now, here's a big one. And some of you asked about this. You're like, okay, obviously these items, and as you saw in John and I's numbers, and specifically John's when we broke his down in detail, his went all the way across country and was a heavy item. How does this work with shipping? Well, two things to know. One, there is so much profit. I mean, hundreds and thousands of dollars of profit per item that even very expensive shipping, you're still making extreme amounts of profit. Okay, so that's the first thing that you should know. The second thing you should know is you have to know what you're doing and have the right connections to be able to ship at rates that maintain profitability for you and that are as cheap as you can possibly get them, right? Even though there's tons of margin, we want to make as much as we can. So how do we ship cheaply and how does that work? So Rob and Melissa have a very specific detailed, they put together a shipping training for us, how to profit huge with shipping, how to determine which shipping service to use. So there are a few factors there to determine who you're going to use and why. So you need to know that. You also need to know how to pack and ship the materials and what you need for that and how to actually do that properly. And there's a difference in shipping small, medium items versus larger items, and they cover that as well. So basically all of the information and detail on how to ship, okay? Now, potentially even more important for many of the types of items we're looking for, training on how to do freight shipping. And I know that sounds a little bit intimidating, but trust me, it is easy peasy. In fact, I might argue easier than some of the other little dinky things I've shipped at Christmas for through FedEx, right? I mean, so they have made it so easy with this freight shipping system. So they've got a training, and they're going to teach you all about freight shipping, determining if you need to use FedEx, UPS, or freight, right? Because those are all different things. What service do you use? How to box up larger items, how to pallet them if you need to, and then getting these freight quotes. Now, that's all great and fine and dandy, but I'm going to talk about freight shipping here in just a minute, but the big key here is direct access to their shipping tool and their freight so that you can get the best possible prices, their freight contact, okay, directly, actually using Rob and Melissa's freight contact to get your freight done. So like when John shipped his across country, he went into their system through their contact and was able to ship it very profitably still, right? That is so important. That's a very key factor. So being able to be part of this Flipper University, have access to that, is massively important to you for profitability. So not only do you get the training, but you get the contact access. The other thing is, we put together, Rob and Melissa have an amazing Facebook group they put together for this. It's 6 months access to that Facebook group. And there's a ton of knowledge there. You're going to get help from other successful members and mentors that they have in there, coaches. So it's an amazing group. So you're going to get access to that for 6 months. This is really cool. You're going to get a list of 200 items that are worth between $500 and $2,000 each that they normally flip. These are good things to look out for. And there's 200 high profit items to flip in this particular section. Okay, so there's a huge amount of profitable items here that you're looking at, over 200 individual unique items that are between $500 and $2,000 sales price, right? That's a lot of profit there. So that's really cool. So you're going to get that included. And here's the thing. All of that is going to allow you to do exactly what John and I have done. And again, we're going to help Rob and Melissa grow this as a partnership as well and be part of this. So you guys are going to get first crack at this, and it's going to be a ton of fun, and you guys are going to make a lot of money. So this is obviously going to be something, right? Rob just showed like thousands of dollars profit. This is obviously going to be like super expensive. So you think. It's actually not. I'm going to show you how you're going to basically be able to get this in a way that we pay you, okay? But pricing for this is $19.97, okay? $1,997. And that gets you access to everything we talked about. But I'm going to show you that effectively this is free for you. And in fact, I'm going to say, wait a minute, it's actually better than free. We're going to actually make sure that you get paid to do this so that it's an absolute no-brainer. So we have an incredible guarantee, and we want to make sure that you get paid to do this. So this is going to blow your mind. And we can only do this right now for the first 20 of you, because this is a very personalized bonus for the fast movers that's going to really take care of you guys. So we've got 20 of these. So here's what I'm going to say. We have a ton of people on. These are going to go like that. So be ready, because I'm about to give you a link here to get access to this. And for the first 20, you guys are going to get the most incredible thing I've ever seen anybody do in an offer. Rob and Melissa themselves and their team are going to actually find you $2,500 worth of profitable flips in your area for you to help you get started, right? So this is kind of the part of the secret to John and I's immediate whammo success, where they got on with us and helped us source live, right? And so they are going to, for the first 20, get on and give you guys $2,500 worth of profitable flips in your area, just sent to you. Hey, here you go. Here's profit in your area, and you're guaranteed to get that amount, or you pay nothing, right? So incredible. So what that means is $2,500 worth of profit sent to you minus the cost. We are trying to not only teach you the most incredible method that we've seen come along in years, and give you a new source, a new stream of income that you can add to help change your financial future, right? But we're also trying to put $500 in your pocket by giving you that extra profit and guaranteeing that you get that much. That way, you're not thinking in your mind, oh my gosh, am I going to make my money back? And am I going to get help? Am I going to get, well, you're going to get both. You're going to get so much help that you're just going to get it handed to you. And are you going to get your money back? Well, yes, it's guaranteed, because it's going to be a guarantee of $2,500 worth of profit. Okay. Unbelievable. Never seen anything like that. That's crazy. If that doesn't make it a no-brainer, then you check your pulse.
Hey guys, just wanted to butt in here really quick. Because you are watching the replay video now, what you're hearing is you're going to hear about our fast mover bonus, which was initially slated to only be available while on the webinar for the first 20. However, you're also going to hear that we sort of twisted Rob and Melissa's arm to extend that offer to more folks. So what that means is we still have some available. If you're seeing this, that means we still have some available. When they go away, you're going to see like this piece of the video will be taken out, and there'll be a notification not only on the replay page here, but also on the order page, and it'll say no more bonus available, right? The $2,500 worth of delivered profit to you will no longer be available. So that said, just wanted to butt in and let you know, because this is a replay, we're going to be talking about the bonus. You'll hear us extend the fast mover bonus, but even for you guys that are currently watching this, it means we do still have some available. Rob and Melissa gave us a set number. So grab it now because it won't last, I'm sure, very long, but it is still available for you guys if you are seeing this. Looking forward to seeing you on the other side. Thanks.
That's all I got to say. You guys ready for the link? First 20? You guys ready? No? Okay. Well, we'll just take a nap. No, there they come. There they come. Yes. Okay. All right. Again, for the first 20, you guys get that $2,500 worth of profitable flips found for you. So here's the link, bkprofit.com/flipper. Someone will put that in the chat for you, I'm sure, if you need to click on it. Again, it's going to give you everything you need, exactly what John and I really had access to, actually more. You get all the sourcing training, the shipping training, the freight shipping training, so that you can have all of that under your belt and know what you're doing. 6 months access to the private Facebook group to make sure you get the help, interact with others. And it's a very active group. And you're going to get 200 items worth in a list that are between $500 and $2,000 each. So you're going to get an immediate list of 200 items you can start paying attention and watching for. And for the first 20 of you, you're going to get $2,500 worth of profitable flips handed to you. Pretty crazy. So you can't go wrong with that. I mean, that's a guarantee, by the way. Again, if we can't get you $2,500 worth of profits, you don't pay anything, which has never happened. You're going to find that much profit in your area. So there you go. The first 20, those are going to go fast. But it gets better. We actually have some more bonuses for you I want to tell you about. And then we're going to we'll do another zip code and we'll do some Q&A. Okay. That'll be fun. So want to add a couple of free bonuses in here for you guys and just like really up the ante to, like, if it wasn't already a no-brainer, now it's going to be. We're also going to give you another list, and this list is 100 items, but these particular items are worth $2,000 to $5,000 each. So these are even higher ticket items. Huge. Okay. So another list of really high ticket, really good targets to look out for. And I know that when I skimmed these lists, I was able to source so much faster because I already had an idea of these things in my head and right there beside me of what I could be looking for. Huge. I mean, this is like basically downloading Rob and Melissa's like expert brain, like cha-chung, right into you, like years of experience knowing what to look for. Crazy. So that's included. Another free bonus, number 2, and this is what I was talking about earlier. You're going to get special freight broker rates only available through us. Okay? Only available.
And let me talk real quick on that one second, Luke.
Please do.
I was super impressed with the level of customer service that the company that Rob and Melissa has partnered with on this. The gentleman actually got on a call with me and walked me through how to do it the very first time. Rob was tied up. He had some stuff he couldn't do. So I just called the company, and I was like, hey, how do I ship? And so they literally just walked me through it. And they actually helped me, they point out a couple things that, like, hey, this one has a guaranteed date. This one doesn't have a guaranteed date. So if you need it, make sure you choose this and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I just want to say that it was super easy to do the shipping, and it worked like, I thought that was going to be really hard. It was like, I wanted more products. Like it was so easy to ship. I was like, I want to ship a bunch of stuff. This looks fun. It's kind of cool. But anyway, so don't, I mean, that is a really, they're a top-notch organization. That's all I can say. Like the support I got was second up, and they didn't know me from Adam. I mean, you know, it wasn't like Rob called him and said, hey, make sure, you know, you show John something. It wasn't that at all. They seem like they do it for everybody. I mean, they're just really good people. So anyway, I just wanted to talk, you know, about my experience, at least with the shipping company. I mean, the brokerage. I mean, they're not just a ship. They work with all the shipping companies, but the brokerage was really cool.
That's huge. Yeah, thanks, John, for explaining that. Yeah, John literally just jumped on and they've just walked him through it, so it's incredible.
Yeah, it's all a piece of software. I mean, it's you just, you know, you don't have to call anybody. I mean, I did because I didn't know it, but going forward, I just have to go on there and basically schedule it. Everything's done, and they just show up. It's crazy.
You've got direct access to an incredible broker with incredible service, software that's going to, like, I know you guys don't fully comprehend the power of this yet until you do it. Kind of like what John said, he kind of didn't know what to expect. And then when you see what it is, you're like, oh my God. So this is a huge key to making this work. So yeah, knowing what to look for, being able to take advantage of the different things, all that is really important, but also being able to get these rates and being able to ship this easily and accurately and all of that is so important. And so that's a huge, huge deal. So huge. So that's also included as a bonus, of course. So got another bonus too. For those of you that were already asking in the chat, I was kind of giggling because I saw this question a few times. You guys wanted to see some of those items that we blurred out, like what did John and Luke source? We are actually going to include, for those of you that join, our sourcing session that Rob and Melissa did with us in our areas to find those deals. So we recorded it and we thought, what a cool way to not only like reveal what the items were, but also to give you guys the same training we got over our shoulder. And so we just, you know, we recorded it. So you guys are going to get access to, you know, our private sourcing session that we had with Rob and Melissa to find our items. And I think you'll find that, you know, interesting and certainly educational and super powerful. So some of you guys were asking, well, what was this? Or how did you? So, well, you can actually just watch the whole thing because we recorded it.
And that's actually what my son watched, by the way. So I said that I didn't want to get the item because I was being lazy. And I sent this training to him. This is the only training he had. And then he asked me, hey, did you get that item? And I said, no. And he said, can I get it? And I'm like, well, yeah, if you want. And anyway, that's how he ended up doing it.
That's awesome. That's hilarious. Yeah. So just literally Sam just watched this sourcing and knew which one to get and everything from that. So really cool. I think you guys will appreciate that. Be similar to your sourcing session as well. So let me kind of recap because we added some extra bonuses there. So again, all the sourcing training you could need, all the shipping training, including the freight shipping training, 6 months access to the private Facebook group. You're going to get 2 different lists of the items that you need to be on the hunt for. One has 200 items that are 500 to 2,000. The other one has 100 items that are 2,000 to 5,000. Okay, included, free. Also, you're going to get access to the freight broker membership rates, the discounted shipping, and access to their software to get your shipping set up and done. And then of course, we're going to throw in our private sourcing session recording that we had with Rob and Melissa that they helped us find our deals. So you'll be able to actually watch it real time. And when we learned what our items were, you'll see it too. And then most importantly, for the first 20 of you, $2,500 worth of profitable flips handed to you in your area. So you can be guaranteed to be profitable and not wonder, are you going to get your money back, all that. So not only are you going to get your money back, and it's a guaranteed thing here with your profit, as long as you do it, you just have to do it, right? Please do it. Then you're golden, but also you're going to get an incredible method that should add very large amounts of income over the next several years for you if you just take a little bit of time to source these items and do it. It doesn't take a ton of work. Like this can absolutely be a side hustle. It can be done as even a secondary side hustle if you want to. Add it to what you do with books, or it can be full-time income, right? So bkprofit.com/flipper. Go now. couple things. We're going to do one more zip code and we're going to do some questions, but I know one question already. A little bit about the guarantee as well. Here's the bottom line. We've got your back. You guys know that. You guys have known John and I long enough. If you take action and you don't have success with this and we can't find you $2,500 in profit, then we'll just give you your money back. Okay. Simple as that. Because we know we can find $2,500 of profit in your area. Like easy peasy, right? So you're fully safe with this. Biggest no-brainer ever. Okay. So let's talk about, I'm going to leave this up so you guys can see this. This is the question. And I don't know, John, you can maybe look. I mean, I hate to even say this, but do we have any of the 20 spots left for the $2,500 bonus? Or are those already gone?
No, that's a good question.
I'm going to guess they're already gone. So by the way, if you're on the page now and you still see it, it's still there.
I'll have to go and check, or Rob and Melissa actually can tell us, because it's more in their system there.
I know a lot of you guys are asking, is it still available? Is it still available? Okay, well, I'll tell you what.
Well, we are actually, yeah, no, I think we're at like 19, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, at least according to this. So.
Okay, guys. Here, how about this? Oh man, I feel good about this in one way and bad about it in another way. I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. Would you be willing to, let's just say for just the people that are on here live right now, and if they take advantage and buy tonight, would you guys be willing to extend that offer to anyone that buys before we get off tonight? Because I know it's already gone and we have so many people asking.
Yes, we absolutely would. If you want to get started, I do not want to hold you back. So absolutely, we would love to extend it for anybody else.
I'm so sorry to put, look.
He does it to me, so, you know, that's all right.
I do it to John all the time, just put him on the spot. Look, guys, that is such a generous offer, because this takes manual effort and labor in it to find your deals for you. Okay, so that is a very generous and gracious thing that they just extended. So for those of you, sorry, go ahead.
That's the reality, Luke. I mean, the reality is they basically gave my son $1,300 profit. I mean,
yeah,
you know, Rob and Melissa got on with us, sourced the item with us, you know, and your items in there, whatever.
Yeah.
Told us how to do it, but sourced the items. And I mean, we just had to do it. I mean, at the end of the day, and I mean, I'll be honest, I almost didn't do it because it was Christmas, I was lazy, and I finally got around to doing it in January. You know, my son's like, hey, are you ever going to list it? And I'm like, all right. And so I finally listed it, you know, and lo and behold, then I got excited because I was like, oh man, people are looking at this thing. So, you know, I mean, don't be like John, just do it. Like, don't be lazy. Okay. I was lazy. It was Christmas.
Don't follow John's example. Yeah.
Yes. You'll make more money if you actually list it. Don't just buy it and hold it. List it. That's the key. But anyway, point of it is, I mean, Sam, he didn't know what to do, but he trusted Rob and Melissa, and he said, I was going to go buy it. And lo and behold, exactly what Rob said, list it for $2,500. It'll sell. I was like, okay. So, I mean, they know what they're doing. That's the whole point of this. Like, you know, Luke, nah, but Rob and Melissa, they know what they're doing. All right.
That's right. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll admit that. That's why we're like, hey, we're just not going to try to show you guys how to do this. We're going to bring on the real experts and not try to pretend like we know what we're doing yet. But I mean, that's huge, guys. Again, so gracious of them to offer that. So like, if you're thinking about it, I don't know what you would be thinking about, because it's like you're guaranteed. And you guys have known us, I'm sure. If you're on this webinar, you've probably known John and I for a long time. So we've got your back. All you got to do is just do it, right? Obviously, if you get your items and you just don't go get them or something, we can't help you there. But you're going to get your money back. You're going to learn a method that you can make a lot of money over the years with. And the more you do, the more you make. And again, it's an incredible strategy for low volume, high profit. You don't need a ton of items. Just do a little bit of work and your return is crazy. I mean, I don't know if the investment world heard us say right now that we were really kind of only just looking for items that we could 10 times our money on, they would be like, no possible way, or they'd keel over and pass out, or I don't even know what they would do, right? It's just like, that's like unheard of. So it's just incredible. I mean, we're so excited about it. We've had a blast doing it. That's the other thing. It's actually a lot of fun to do. And it's almost like Rob said, it's almost like a little game, and you get better with it. So we can't recommend it more. We can't endorse it more than literally partnering to help build this and bring it to you guys. And my gosh, I mean, that's all I can say. You have no risk here. They've been gracious enough to extend that offer. So what that means is anybody that buys before we end this, and we're about to end it, we're going to do one more zip code and some questions to close this thing out. Before this is over, if you can jump on, you're going to get the $2,500 worth of profitable flips in your area bonus, which is incredible. So make sure you do that. Don't wait until after the webinar is over and lose that. You want to get that if you can. Okay. So that being said, Robert, you game to just do one more fun zip code search and then we'll close it out with the FAQ. Okay. All
Can
right.
I add one thing to
please do. Please do.
The bonus as well? We're not going to limit $2,500 in profit. We'll if you guys see what we do, I just shipped something out 2 weeks ago that I paid $88 for. It wasn't on Marketplace, but it was one of my other sources. I paid $88 for it, and we sold it for $8,000. If we find items for you in your local area, we're not just going to be stingy and hold off. I'm going to hit all the low-hanging fruit, or my team, my coaches, all the low-hanging fruit that's in your area. We're going to send them your way, and it could be 5,000, it could be 8,000, it could be 10,000, whatever it is. We want to make sure that you're making money right out the gate with this.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I don't even know. I mean, what guys, what are you doing if you haven't already? I mean, go do it. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, that's awesome. Okay, so let me give you another zip code, Robin.
Let's do it.
So let me do a little flick here. Okay. All right. Okay. This looks like Jeff. 15681. 15681.
I got it. Let's switch our screen over, see if we can do that right, and then we'll pull it back up.
Hold on.
Okay. I'm going to force the pass here to you guys.
Alrighty. Are we showing our screen now?
Yep, we got it now.
Yes.
All right, so here.
Perfect. 15681. Pennsylvania, the 60 mile. Let's jump in here. And I'm still on commercial, so I want to reset this commercial. And you can, well, I could look real quick, but let's reset the commercial. And back to today's picks, and then just start looking for what we can find in there. And I'm going to show you, like I told you, the appliances.
So you can
yeah,
see.
you can.
Sorry about that.
The appliances is typically where we like, because we know high-end appliances and we've sold so many of them. That's where I like to. So I'll scroll down and see if I can find that appliance. If I can't, major appliances, there it is right there. Let's hit this up. And it's buffering, see what comes up. And then we just scroll through here and look for something that catches our eyes. I like some of these. All right, here's a good one. It's a little bit higher price, but I know the brand. I know this one could be something big. Could have a lot of markup on it. And let's look in here real quick. This is higher. It's at a $2,000, and I wouldn't pay that for it. If I do the research and see that this is something that I want, I would go in and probably at $1,000. Let's do some research. Like I told you, I'm not a gambler. I don't like gambling. I like to back what I'm doing. You can see this is on dolly, so you could wheel it right up on a trailer if you needed to. You could have somebody it moves around very easily. So let's jump over here. Let's see what that is. It is 48-inch Wolf range. I know Wolf is a great brand. I've sold many Wolf. And right off the bat, we are in
Wow.
active listings. So you can see what some of these listings, this is open box. Let's get to used. I'm going to do this where we're only looking at used items. So we know there's only 30, which is great. I don't want a lot of competition with what I'm doing. And out of that 30, maybe only a couple of them are like this. So pre-owned, this one they're charging $10,900 for. Very similar if you look. So I like to compare pictures as well. You can see there's a griddle right there. You can see there's an empty spot right there, and then this little pop-out screen. If we go back here, you can see the griddles right there. You can see the empty spot between the buttons and then the pop-out screen. So that's very comparable to what's here. But let's scroll down and see what the lowest that I'm going to compete with. If I did get this, what would be the lowest that I could actually sell it for and still be competitive? I know I can blow away with my stuff. The way that we teach people how to do this, we blow it away. We have tactics that we get great pictures, we get videos, we get all that stuff with it. So I want to see at the lowest where I would be. So this is 7,000, but they're not offering shipping, limited to the local market. 6,500, no shipping. So I know right off the bat I can be above 7,000.
Yep.
5,000, local pickup, no shipping. And then we're going to cooktop, the actual cooktop itself. So this is the lowest right here with local pickup. And at the highest, still local pickup. So they will, well, that's a wrong one, but local pickup, 7,500. Here you go. This is the one that I would compete with. And it's a little bit different. You see, they don't have the pop out. So this is an older version. So I'm not even really competing. It doesn't have the little monitor right there that pops out like you can see on this one.
Yep.
So 9,000, roughly $9,000. And this is, like I said, this is a lot of money on this. I would offer $1,000 for this. And then I would turn around and I would list it for $999. I would $10,000 is what I would list this for. And then watch what it actually sells for. But like I said, right off the bat, I love it. It is a high profit in there. And there's probably multiple ones in here we could look at too, but I don't want to take too much time. I want you guys, if you guys want to jump in, yeah, I definitely want you guys to have the opportunity to do that.
That's awesome. That's incredible. That was actually great, Rob, because that was one that was a little bit higher price point, but also higher sale point. I mean, you're looking at $9,000-$10,000. You buy it, get it for $1,000. I mean, you're like, guys, one item and you make $8,000 in a month. I mean, that's insane. I mean, you do that once a month. It's crazy. So that's why we get so excited about this. I mean, that was the example right there. Just way too great of an opportunity to pass up, guys, for sure. I mean, I don't know what else to say at this point, guys, other than let's just do a super quick recap. The basic strategy: we're buying low, we're selling high, right? If you want to go out and try to do this on your own, you can try, but here's the benefit of jumping on with us and our community. Well, number one, you're going to get more in profit than you pay for the course. So even if you want to go out and do it on your own, we're still trying to just hand you some free money. So that's still a win. But you get all the training you need to cover everything in terms of the sourcing, the shipping, the freight, all of that stuff. You get the private Facebook group, you get the lists of items that you know are going to be profitable and good high dollar flips, you get the freight broker connection, contact, and software that you're going to need to ship these things. And you get access to our private sourcing session as well. And then, of course, as long as you do it while we're on, we'll do some FAQ here before we close out. You get the $2,500 worth of profitable flips. So I don't know what else to say other than like that should be the biggest no-brainer you've ever seen. I mean, John, you want to throw anything else in, and we'll get some FAQs here and hit Rob and Melissa with some questions.
I mean, the only thing I gotta say is, yeah, this is definitely a no-brainer. If you can, well, and here's the thing, the one thing I do love about it, like you don't need a lot of money for the inventory. So that's one of the great, advantages of it. I mean, you can pick it up for $150, thing that you can make $1,300 on. I know for a fact. So, I mean, I can speak to that 100%. And Sam actually spent his money, so to buy it. So anyway, so I mean, you can find things, and like they had examples of, and really you can find stuff free, which is pretty cool. So that's one of the things I do like about it is, I mean, I love our business, obviously, but it is, you do have to buy inventory. So like this, you can, the volume might not be there, but when you find the right items, I mean, the profit's there. And that's, in my mind, it really complements, what we do very well, because it's not a lot of time and it's not a lot of money, and you can make some good profits, right? So, yeah, anyway, I think it's awesome. And,
Yeah, it's
anybody can do it.
Anybody can do this, and we'll talk about some questions about people that think they may not be able to do this. But
Right.
the other thing is, I've seen this question a lot. Well, how much does it cost to get started? Well, you saw, I mean, Rob and Melissa gave you an example of somebody that started with 50 cents and has now done over $250,000, right? We've shown you some examples where I bought a couple of my items for $50. I don't know what business you're ever going to start anywhere for $50 that makes any real kind of money. And they showed several different items where you're getting these things for free, because people are just giving these things away. They want them out of their house, they want them out of their store, their storage, whatever it is. So, I mean, you can really, truly get started with a very small amount of money. And because it's high profit, you can turn that money over. You can do it quickly. I mean, you just grow your income and your inventory levels is just incredible. So very, very complimentary to what we do with books, and you can and should, in our opinion, absolutely do both. So that being said, you can get started with very, very little money, and certainly not a lot of technical skill or anything required. So here's a question that some folks might have, and I know Rob kind of mentioned this in one of his examples with one of the ladies that had some success. Do you have to have, and I'll just pose this to you guys, Rob, do you have to have like a giant truck or be a bodybuilder or weightlifter like John, or or anything like that? I mean, can regular people do this if they don't have a giant truck, let's say?
Absolutely. So I started out this business. I started out with a Ford Mustang GT. It was a convertible, and that's what I started my business with. As I got more success, I did get a truck. I actually went to an SUV first. I bought an SUV, and then I used the SUV. And then after I got a little bit more success, and I loved it, because if you guys can't tell, I love what I do. I absolutely love this. I can tell you one that our kids just shipped out. That was like last week, a $3,500 flip. We paid $300 for it on the last road trip. Our kids made that money, but I'm doing this actively. I enjoy this. This is like what I love to do. But you do not have to have, in that item that I'm talking about that we just shipped out, it fit in the back of a regular car. It was not that big. I didn't need a truck.
Boxes.
Boxes. I delivered it to USPS. That's where we shipped this last one with, and it was in 3 nice size boxes and then 1 small box. That was all it was. So you can do this without a truck or a trailer. And the cool thing is, if you have to rent a truck or a trailer, you can totally do that. But the profit is here, where you can pay $30, $50 to rent a truck, and it's not even going to cut into your profit. So that's the best part about this business. Start where you're at. If you love it and start to see results and you want to get a truck or a trailer, you can, but you definitely do not have to.
But there's enough profit too if you wanted to hire out some of the
Right.
like, to a handyman, like on Craigslist, Angie's List, or whatever it is, and pay somebody an hour or two of moving something. There's still enough profit there. So we have some members do that.
That was
That's
a question.
huge point.
Go ahead.
No, huge. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, that was a question. I won't say the name, but she said, "I'm single, old, and don't have a truck, no heavy lifting. How do I do this?" And so sounds like you guys have strategies, or people already doing it kind of similar, right? Not really doing the lifting themselves, don't have a truck, maybe more strategic on the items that they buy, but or they hire it out. Sounds like there's I mean, people that'll work for 50, you pay somebody $50 to probably go help you lift it, and then when it's time to ship and that kind of stuff. So anyway, not to put words in your mouth, but
There's just so much profit there. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
when you're looking at an item that you bought for $50 and I mean, Rob showed you a couple there, buy for $50 to $200 and you're selling it for $2,000. We'll pay somebody $150 to do it, which is a crazy price. You probably wouldn't even have to pay them that, but or even freaking moving company for that matter, which again, probably a terrible choice because it's probably going to be really expensive, but there's so much profit you could even do that. and still make good money. So.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So
Let's see. If someone has an eBay account, they don't need another one, right?
Correct.
Yep, start right where you're at.
It's
Absolutely.
usually better if you have an eBay. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but if you already have one, you can hit the ground running a lot faster. You
Yep.
don't have the restrictions.
So, I mean, that's all of those things are tiny, like in terms of, money, you don't need a ton. If, muscle, you don't need any muscle. You don't have to do it. I mean, honestly, if I were to scale this, well, okay, I'll tell you what I did. So remember my sourcing, I showed you guys at the beginning that I bought 5 of the same item type and they were all within an hour and a half driving distance. I coordinated that to be on the same day to pick all those up in cash. And then I hired a guy that I have do random yard work and stuff for me at the lake that I found on Facebook in a Facebook group. I just posted, hey, I'm looking for some manual labor, somebody to help pull weeds and move some items around a garage and things like that. And I can't remember what I pay him. It's like $95 a day or something like that, $80 a day. So it's very, very low amount of money. He drove around and picked them up. And so, I mean, I can lift stuff, no problem. I'm still able-bodied. I'm not as old as John yet. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as old as John yet. But I mean, I paid somebody to go get mine, and because I was finding items that were $50 and they were going to sell for over $1,000. So okay, so I paid him. Let's just say total it was $200 worth of labor and gas for 5 of those. I mean, who cares? I mean, it's $5,000 worth of profit and I didn't do anything. So these are very easily overcome tiny little hurdles for anybody that has any real interest in actually doing this.
Yeah.
That's all easy stuff to fix. Easy.
Stacy would remember who we talked about earlier. She would negotiate the deal and then negotiate them to drop it off to her. So
yeah.
She did it multiple times and people want to get rid of it and they're like, sure, and I think I don't know if they charged her more, but sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't, but they would drop it off to her.
Such a great point. Many of our members start with either a minivan, it's a mom with a minivan trying to get a side hustle, and Stacy did not. She did after I think 2 years.
Yeah.
She got a small trailer.
After hitting 100,000.
After 100,000, she got a small trailer from Harbor Freight, which was like $300 or $400, not expensive, that she could pull behind her minivan. But the minivan is what she started with, and she did so much and made so much money just out of her minivan.
That's crazy.
That's incredible. That's
I see a question here that just says, how long does it take to get going? So like kind of run through a little bit on the, because I mean, pretty much immediately. I mean, once they go through the training and everything, right? I mean, and of course, when they get their identified items, they can buy them right then. If they have an eBay account, they're great. And if they have to set one up, obviously that just takes however long it takes. And then I know you've got a little bit of a training on that. So anyway, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, you can get started immediately. As soon as you find these items and you list them, you can get started immediately and start making money at the business. So
we designed the program so that you would be making money while you're going through it, and you can really go through it like in a weekend if you wanted to, really go through the whole thing. But we did create an hour-long Cliff Notes version of everything so that you do these things, because we were noticing people would hit the ground running, which we love, but then they'd miss out like 1 or 2 things and then it might be a costly mistake. So we picked out those main things, do this first and then hit the ground running, and you can start making money right away. So
yeah, it won't take long. I mean, this isn't, you don't have to get approved to buy something on Facebook Marketplace. You're right. I mean, so no one's approving your account there. So if you got Facebook Marketplace, you can already start, as long as you go through the training, you start identifying items, and getting them. And look, here's the thing. Same thing with what happened with me. Sam, my son, we made that money when we bought the item. That's it. Now, we didn't get the money until we sold it. But people don't understand. They will sell. The items are going to sell. It's about buying it and about locating that deal. And when you buy that at the right price, you can just go ahead and count on that money coming in. I mean, obviously I list it, but and it'll sell. Maybe it'll do it quick. Maybe it takes a few weeks, whatever. But that's the key. So like buying the items, obviously, you got to store them a little someplace or whatever, but a lot of these aren't that big. I mean, the thing that I bought, it didn't take up that much room. So, that's the key though. And that's what you want to do sooner rather than later, obviously, is make sure you start securing the items, and then, you can list them and sell them, and that you'll actually get paid. But
yeah, that's so guys, you can get started quick. There's not a bunch of hurdles. You don't have to set up some kind of crazy business entity structure and learn all these technical, like this is about as simple as it gets. I honestly don't know if it gets any more simple than this. I mean, anybody should be able to do this. It should just be a no-brainer. What else, John? Do we have any other? Oh, again, guys, the bonus is still good right now until we close out here in just a couple minutes. So definitely go now, because we won't last. We'll probably go another 10 minutes or so. So go ahead and go now, so that you get that bonus, because once that closes out, we don't want you to miss out.
I do have some people asking about international. So I don't know if, Rob, Melissa, I mean, I think you've told me that you guys had some international people, right? So maybe speak to the international crowd.
Absolutely. So the biggest thing for international, do you have Facebook Marketplace and do you have eBay? There's many different types of apps.
There's the thumbs
up. Oh, that's crazy.
Are you doing that? Is that what it's doing?
I did.
You just did it in the thumbs up. Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's so
That's
weird.
crazy. It popped up on John's again.
Yeah.
All right. But
so back to
the question. Yes, if you have Facebook Marketplace, which is our main source, but we have many other avenues that you can find items with. International, if you have Facebook Marketplace and you have eBay, then yes, you can make this work. It went on my screen too. Yeah. Then yes, you absolutely can make this work.
Okay. So that's the answer, Rebecca, and you will be doing it in your local area, like sourcing the items, and then you'll be selling on eBay, right? But eBay in your country type deal. So because there's shipping solutions all over. I mean, everywhere will have shipping solutions. So it'll just be in your country versus the US.
So can I say one more thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So typically eBay in the US, it has global shipping. That's how we reach other countries ourselves. That you ship to a global hub, and eBay takes care of all those extra fees, all that stuff. All you're required to is ship it to that local hub. Similar in other countries, they have a global system where you can, and I can't speak for every country, but they have a similar type of thing to where they have global shipping that you can get them into the US and that kind of stuff. We work closely with Canada, I think Australia, England, yeah, multiple different places throughout the country that do it. The other cool part is our broker that Luke was talking about, he's in other countries as well, so we can do it with the broker that is able to help us with the larger items on shipping as well in other countries. So it's really, really cool. It's awesome what we're able to do with it.
We have one member who's not quite international. It's Hawaii, but he was shipping these big items from Hawaii, which was really cool that he could do that. So
and profitably.
Yes.
So I wasn't even aware of that, guys, with the broker also being available in the other countries as well. So yeah, we did have a few people. It was like, yeah, if you got Marketplace and eBay, and then there are some other places to source, we can figure it out for you for sure. It can be done. So, and the broker obviously has connections there, so that's awesome.
So Virginia asked this question. I think this is a good question. Can this become a full-time gig and a primary source of income? Is it possible to do that?
Absolutely. And this was the goal when I tell you guys about that table and chair set that we flipped. Our goal was to go full time with this because Melissa and I both had jobs.
We always did it part time. It was always our extra money. So, but we always did it on the side. And
we didn't go deep into our story, but we did it part time, and we're making about $40,000 a year, very, very part time. And when we had the decision of do we do this full time or do we go get other jobs, we decided to go all in our first year full time, really going at it, still probably 30 hours a week because we have kids and we're very active in our kids' lives. But with that, we hit $136,000. So if you really want to pour, and then we started learning the higher profit flipping, we easily could take this to very, very a very high income if we poured more time into it. But I'm not a workaholic. I love what I do. I love to travel and I love doing all that. So we kind of 5-10 hours a week is what I pour into it, and we still can we can hover at that $100,000 mark when we put that much time into it.
When we hit the 130,000, 100 of that was profit. So like to that to us is a big important part, because you can see the gross numbers, but if there's no profit, it doesn't make any sense. So we make sure that our profit margins are there.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you're talking 5 to 10 hours a week, I mean, let's just call that one work day a week, right? I mean, that's insane. That's like a full-time income, which is more than a lot of folks are, an amount that more than a lot of folks are making. Basically working 1 day a week in terms of total time is unheard of, and the returns are unheard of. And to be able to start with such a low amount is unheard of. And I could just keep going down the list of why this methodology and this strategy and opportunity is so exciting for us to get involved with, is because it just checks every box, unlike anything we've seen. It's incredible. It really is. So
Can I add one thing too?
Please
do.
do.
I was just gonna say that we have gravitated now to where we pretty much won't sell anything under $1,000, but there are still a lot of items for hundreds. Like we would get excited for a $200 sale, a $500 sale. We gravitated when I was doing, we started having kids. I didn't realize strollers were so expensive, so we started getting into strollers, and we'd make $300 to $500 on a stroller. But now we've kind of gravitated to, but there's still a lot that are just even a couple $100 out there that you can do too. So.
We were talking about that the other day when we were walking. We were like, do you remember when we'd find a stroller and it was $300, and we were like, this is awesome. And now it's like $300. It's like, yeah, we need that to be at $3,000. We're very picky.
Those items are still out there too.
They are.
So like they're out there. We're just a lot pickier now of what we buy for what's worth our time.
That's amazing. That's incredible. I love that. That's just a testament to how powerful the methodology is, and the overall opportunity that there is. It's crazy.
And
guys,
in your training, I mean, I think even in your training, you guys do more than what we even talked about on the Facebook side. I mean, they as far as sourcing, right? I mean, you go into other ways to source. So, I mean, Luke and I like the Facebook marketplace one. It's because you're at home, you can do it and all that stuff. But if some of you like going and doing stuff like they do, traveling and other places and all that stuff, I mean, they kind of show you in their training other places in your area that you can look for deals and things like that, if I'm not mistaken.
There's no shortage of deals out there. There really is not.
Well, like I said, you guys probably don't know us that well, but for the last 4 years, we wanted to travel with our kids. What we ended up doing was making this into a game where I pull I pull a little trailer behind us, and we hit Facebook Marketplace up, travel the whole entire country, and typically we would pick up about 10 items through the whole country. Why we go to all these different state parks, national parks, and then we come back, and on average for the last 4 years, we've made on average $20,000 by traveling for 1 month and the items that we bring back and we sell them. So the potential is endless with this. Once you really learn these strategies, these foundations, you can do whatever you want. If you want to travel, you can do it. If you want to stay home and do it, you can do it. If you want to replace your income, it's really endless. It's endless what you're able to do with it.
He's sitting in the hotel like, okay, where are we headed tomorrow? Let me see where I can find it for there. Let me set something up.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. How much can I make while we drive?
Yep.
Real estate people call it driving for dollars or something like that. When they'll drive around and look at houses and stuff, but you're doing the same thing, but just items. So it's crazy.
And then we get to write off a lot of the trip because it's a work trip, which is pretty.
That's right. That's the key. Yeah. Talk to your accountant. But yeah.
Okay, guys.
So a lot of people, like everything. I mean, a lot of it is, how am I gonna do this, right? I don't have a truck, or I don't have a trailer. those things can be overcome. Like there's people that'll help you that you'll pay, or maybe even that will just go and say, hey, I got a truck, I'll come help. It's not like you're doing this for 8 hours a day. I mean, you might have 1 or 2 items to go pick up. You got a friend that has a truck, or do you have someone at the church or local area that, or you put it out there, hey, I need to pick up this item, can you come help me? I mean, don't let those little things like that, because that's solvable, stop you from building a business. I mean, people get in their own way because they think about, how am I going to do this? There are solutions to doing those problems, right? To overcoming those problems. Yeah. So, I mean, don't let that kind of stuff stop you. I mean, I would say, unless you just don't want to do it, if you don't like money, you don't want to make money, then don't do it. But I mean, this is like a super, even if you do this, even if all you did was sign up and you got your one $2,500 deal, and you did one deal and you made $500, and you'll learn something and you get paid to learn it. I mean, that's the worst that's going to happen, really. If you take action. I mean, obviously, if you don't do it, the worst is you won't get your money. But that's the key on this. Like, so it's not like you're locked into some long-term thing. You may not like doing it, whatever. Do it once, you at least make your money back plus $500. So, I mean, that's the worst thing if you're doing it on here. So,
yeah, even one of our members just recently sold her first, Melissa and Paul sold their first larger item, and it was a wheelchair. It was a power wheelchair. And I think she had been in our group for 3 years, and she was scared to do it. Don't let that be you, because when she did it, she's like, why the heck did I wait so long? This was not as hard as I thought it was going to be. The cool thing is you can meet her inside of our group with a lot of other people that might have the same fears that you have, and that's how you overcome them. You're in a community of people who might be there and who might have overcome it, and they'll help you overcome it as well. Because I'm telling you, I'm partial, but this business is really, really cool to be able to make this much money on a single flip. It's really, really cool.
No, absolutely.
And many times people have said that too. They're like, why did I wait so long to do it? It wasn't as scary as I thought. They're just scared of the thought at first, but then once they do it, they're like, oh, that really wasn't that bad.
And to give you a reference, I believe Paul and Melissa are 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
They're in their 60s or 70s. So they're not spring chickens, but they're still out there having fun doing this. And they were flipping smaller items when they met us, and we just opened their eyes to being able to make some higher profits on single flips. And it's just so amazing when you're able to do it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
I mean, I don't even know. Yeah. I mean, what else do you say? Well, here's the question, guys. How many of you are still on here? I got 2 questions. Give me a 1 in the chat if you're in, if you join, because we want to give you a quick shout out. And I'm just very curious. John and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Holy cow, look at all these 1s. If you have not jumped in, why not? And let us know in the chat. It may or may not be something we can help you solve, but I would be very curious in something like when there's an opportunity like this, like what would be going through your mind, maybe as John mentioned, what might you be getting in your own way with or something. But why haven't you if you haven't? Just curious. 1s. Okay, I lost some of you guys. Let me go through here. There's so many I can't scroll right. Diana, Lisa, Carol, Gina, Linda, Ivan, Andrew, Christy, Solomon, Barry, welcome. Lisa, Lynn, Thomas, oh man, Gino, hopefully I said that right. Denise, Mary, Sandra, awesome. Yvonne, Gerald, Judith, Claire, Jared, Edward, Michelle, Patricia, Diane. Holy cow, you guys are all in. We're excited. We're so excited. I got you, Diane. Diane says, this would be perfect for my hubby, but I need to sell it to him. I have a feeling, Diane, you could probably sell your husband anything. That's just my thought.
just make them a cake before you do it. So.
Make him a cake, make him a sandwich. Get you a new swimming suit and whatever for summer. You'll be fine. You'll figure it out. I have faith in you.
Real quick, that prompted a story. You guys remember Stacy that we talked about? When Stacy first found us, She showed us to her husband, and her husband said, "No way, you're not doing that." Stacy did it anyways. Now I'm not telling you to do this because I'm just telling you what happened, and this probably has happened more than this, but we know Stacy very well. She actually did it in that first $3,000 flip. Her husband was on board like that. He's like, "Wow, we need to do more of this. This is amazing," and he really got sold that quick. And she was the same way. Her husband didn't want her to do it. She started doing it, and then yeah, she got those results, and then like the rest is history. She's been amazing.
Her with it, so.
Absolutely, he's in it with her, and he helps her.
That's
So,
I
for
love
those
that.
yeah, that's awesome. For those that live in an apartment or something like that, are there any kind of common solutions? Because I'm seeing that question a lot. Hey, I live in an apartment. Where would I store the items? That kind of thing. I mean, do you have any words of advice to help them overcome that challenge?
Well, we started in a 500 square foot house. So we eventually got a shed that we put our stuff in, and then graduated to a storage unit at some point when it made sense, like for us to do that. Yeah, so I don't know if you want to add to
No,
that.
yeah, absolutely. If you're an apartment, is there a place that you have? A lot of apartments have a garage that you can either rent, and typically even a storage facility, you can do that. But you can do this. This isn't a lot of inventory. You can start with
Right.
one item, two
Yeah, pick the
items,
right
something
item.
like that.
Yeah.
When you start to see the money coming in, then it's not that big of a deal if you pay $100 a month for a storage facility that you have $50,000 worth of stuff in there. In 10 or 12, 15 items, it's not the end of the world to do that. So the biggest thing is if there's a will to anything in this business, if there's a will, there's a way to do it, to overcome it. Like I said, the first things I think of, and Lisa, if you guys remember that story, she was in an apartment too. She just had a carport. And I have a feeling she put the double oven, a microwave in the carport is where she had it. She took pictures of it. She sold it. She shipped it out, and then went to the next level after that. So if you have an option where you can rent a garage or a carport or something like that, that you can have a little bit of working space, that's really all you need. The cool thing is you don't need a ton. You don't need a ton of room to be able to do this.
Yeah, and I would say pick the right items.
Yes.
Like you don't have to pick the biggest items. I mean, if you don't have a space for a double, 48-inch oven, Wolf oven, well, skip it, and then go find something that is smaller that you can manage and make some money. I mean, there's tons of different sizes of items. So I will say that, the item that we ended up with, I mean, that would not be hard to put it in an apartment. I mean, it was a foot by foot by 3 feet. I mean, so it wasn't that hard, to put in. I mean, you could store that anywhere really. So, and that was $1,300 profit, right? So, yeah, I mean, you can make it work is, I guess, what I'm saying.
Yes.
If you want to, just be strategic with what you buy,
Yes.
to start out, and then reinvest in your business. Go maybe rent a storage unit for, whatever, $100 a month. I don't know what they rent for, but I would imagine you can get one for anywhere, somewhere around that range, a small one. Or you have a friend that has a garage that, you could do this with a partner and just say, hey, can I store some stuff at your house or whatever? I mean, leverage your friendships. That's why they're friends.
I did. Somebody split a pod too.
That you use pods, but honestly, I can't imagine a world. I mean, you guys started in 500 square feet, which is basically, let's call that an apartment. Even in these days, is a small apartment, right? But I can't imagine a world where you're living in an apartment and you don't have a shoebox of space to put something that might make you $1,000, let's say. Right? You probably have throw the shoes away, right? I mean, you can make this work, whether it's just using a little bit of the space you've already got, or again, leveraging friends, rent you a little space, whatever. But I can't imagine. I mean, just focus on smaller items, and there's no way you won't have room to make tons of money. I mean,
when we met, he was doing it out of his duplex, and the second room was just his eBay room. So that was
And we'll give you a quick idea, guys. If you look right behind us, right there, those are meat slicers. That's $4,000 in meat slicers, a $2,500 and $1,500. And I like that back wall, that a lot of stuff that I sell, I use it as my platform. I just put it against that wall. I take nice pictures, but that's $4,000 just sitting on a table. And that's the possibility. I mean, you could totally do that. $2,500 for one, $1,500 for the other. So John hit the nail on the head. Make sure you're buying the right items. It might not be that $10,000 range at the first one, but you better believe if once you start flipping these things, you're going to get hooked and you're going to be like, all right, let's go to the next level. I want a $5,000 flip. I want a $7,000 flip. And you'll really, really start to progress to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's perfect. I mean, and that's all I was going to say is, yeah, I mean, there's a solution. And again, it's low volume. So, I mean, 2 items there, $4,000 of profit, right? So, I mean, you don't need a big warehouse. I mean, we're talking 1, 2, 3 items you might have at a time. You know, in the beginning, 1 item at a time. So like, it's not, you know, don't make this into something more difficult than it is. Like, I mean, I get it. You know, if you're, but there, you can find things that you can lift, you don't need a truck for, that are still valuable, that people in your local area are basically giving away for free or selling, you know, inexpensively because they just don't want to deal with it. And then you can turn around and you know, sell it to the world on eBay, or at least a bigger audience.
What, I mean, this may be a little tough love. This is my job. John's a good cop. I get to be the bad cop. I have to leave you with this one. Like, this is such a great opportunity. I'm just going to say, if you can't figure out how to make this business model work, as simple as it is and as easy as these small hurdles are, I don't know if business is your forte. You know, I mean, that's just the bottom line. Like, this, I'm sorry, like, that's how much I believe in this. Like, this should be something anyone can do. And that's just the bottom line. I mean, that's all there is to it. So that's how much I believe in it. So,
I mean, yeah, if you got a Facebook account, local marketplace, you can flip through your browser, make an offer, you know, inexpensive until they say yes, keep going. Like,
numbers,
you don't have to buy it just because they won't agree to it. Okay, we'll move on to or whatever. Wait a week, you know.
That's what John had to do with his girlfriends back in the day. Just keep asking until somebody said yes. And
You
he
weren't
had to
supposed to
pay
tell that.
Jennifer to say yes. So,
Well, you know, I had to pay her. So, but yes. I mean, so anyway, that I'm all sidetracked now. You got me thinking about all those girls that said rejected. Oh my goodness. So anyway, yeah, just buy so I get off this webinar and we can just go. I mean, I'm already been abused too much.
John's had a rough day, just been getting picked on all day. And so
The only reason we're keeping this going is because the bonus, it lasts while the webinar is going. Well, otherwise we would already shut it down because I'm tired of getting abused. But we know that the bonus is well worth. I mean, I believe in 100% because I know it. You know, that's how. I mean, basically, we got $1,300 of profit. Sam did, given to them. You know, because they just pretty much told us go buy this and list it for this much. So, okay,
Also,
we'll do it.
For the bonus too, like we know that not everybody is ready to jump into it right away. Like they might want to get their eBay like going first, and they might want to save it, and you totally can do that. So you just claim it when you're ready. So you don't have to use it like right out the gate, especially if you want to get the things moving first, and then we can find the items for you when you're ready.
great point.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome. Huge.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. Another no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no rush. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, lock it down. I mean, obviously, and I don't even want to use this as an excuse, but I mean, I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind. Because I'm just not gonna say it. I was gonna say the only real reason, you know, if you truly would cause yourself financial harm and destruction, would be the only reason I would say you shouldn't be buying this. That's it.
Yeah.
We
Good point.
Luke and I never want anyone to not be able to pay their rent or take care of their, you know, kids or whatever to buy something. That we never want that. So go ask your uncle or your neighbor really fast because you do need to do it. But that's the only reason I can think of. I'm just kidding, but not really. But you definitely need to jump on this. If you have any inclination that you would be willing to at least try it one time, and they may give you 2 or 3 items. I mean, it might end up being 2 or 3 items to make up the money. I don't know, but 1, 2, or 3 times trying, you'll get your money back. I mean, that's guaranteed if you do it. So give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen. That's how I look at it. If you don't like it, then don't do it anymore. And it didn't cost you anything but some time at the end of the day. A little time, effort, and you learn something. And maybe your kid will do it, or maybe your, maybe not your grandparents, but your dad or mom or whatever.
You have a we spoke at a conference and to a whole bunch of teenagers, and it's so cool to see them using these skills, because I mean, you can transfer these skills to a lot of different businesses as well, so which is really cool.
Yeah.
And our kids, we love them learning it too. And even our 9-year-old, like a year or so ago, I told him to go clean his room. He says, "Mom, I don't have to clean my room because I can make more money flipping than cleaning my room." And I was like, well, you're not wrong, but you're still cleaning your
That's perfect.
Like,
I love it.
the time I have to clean my room, I could go and look for products, Mom. So
Yep.
you're like, well, okay, well, why don't you use that money and pay the cleaner at least, but get the room clean.
That's the next one. That's the next one.
No, he said he was going to pay his sister, I think.
do it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I like that kid. He's smart, actually.
He's got it figured out. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well,
Well,
guys,
is there
we're gonna
any other objection?
yeah.
Is there any
anything
other
else
objection?
stopping you from moving forward that we might be able to help you with, please pop it in the chat, because we don't want you to lose out on the crazy awesome bonus. And we'll just give you a couple more minutes of that. Actually, probably what we should do is, I mean, we could go ahead and close out. We'll stay in the chat for a few more minutes to answer any questions you guys have. So we'll be here if you want to type something directly to us in the chat. Again, we believe in it so much. We'll try to help you in any way we can. So anything that's stopping you from joining, let us know, or any question, let us know. We'll see what we can do. And man,
I love this though. I got to read this one. Diane says, "I made an executive decision. We're in." I love it. Nice, Diane. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't think anyone's going to regret this. I mean, if you do it, you will not regret it. Like I said, worst case, you're going to make some money at worst case, and you're going to, put some time in, you'll learn something new. You may decide, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't know why you would, but you might, and you'll be out a little time and you'll make some money. That's the worst case that's going to happen. Again, like I said, as long as you're not putting yourself in any kind of dire straits, we don't want that. But yeah, everyone else, you just need to do it. How long will it take to get?
John's words of wisdom for the night.
Yeah. Just call me Nike. And I don't normally say that. Like, I really don't. But I mean,
Yeah.
when I've done this, Sam did this. I was even too lazy to want to drive over there around Christmas to get the item, and my son did it. So I'm like, and he's lazy. So I'm like, I know this works. Like, you don't even have to be all that ambitious, So yeah, I mean, I just know it'll work. That's why I want. As long as
That's
you get.
how we created this whole business model, was because he doesn't want to work as much as he.
Yeah. I mean, Rob's my kind of guy. He's a party waiting to happen, like he said. I love it.
He wants to go play pickleball. So
That's it.
all day,
That's it.
every day.
I mean, oh yeah. Teach me, wise one. I got Luke's a slave driver. I'm always working.
One of these days we'll work less. One of these days.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, all right. 1990. So someone keeps asking, or they ask, how much does it cost? If you go to the link, it will tell you, but I think you have to put your information in. So the price is $1,997. But like I said, you are getting the bonus that they'll find at least $2,500 or more. Like I said, they kind of just look in your area and they find items, and whatever it turns out to be, at least $2,500 or more, they will send to you, and you just basically do what they say and you'll make money. I mean,
You also
do you tell them what to list it for? Do you tell them the price to list it for?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the bonus that you will get in your inbox is a video. The video is a screen recording of either myself or one of the coaches looking in we'll plug in your zip code, pull up your Facebook Marketplace. We'll start scrolling through, and then we'll talk exactly why we are selecting that item. We'll take that item over to eBay. We'll do the comparisons, because my goal is not to give you fish, and we want to teach you how to fish. We want to show you how to keep going with this. So we'll show you what we find on Marketplace, how we found it. We'll show you why it's worth what it is. Kind of like you guys saw me do a second ago. Hey, these are the active listings. These are the sold listings. This is the price you will be able to sell it for. And then that's it. So we're going to give you
what you offer too.
That's it. Well, exactly the offer as well. Like you guys saw me say, this is $200, offer $100. And don't stress out if somebody comes back and says, no, I'm not doing that. I just did that. I bought a cool little golf cart last week that looks like a little Willys Jeep. And I offered the guy, he had it for $2,000. I offered him $1,200 cash. And he came back and said, no way, I'm not going anything under $1,700. 3 days later, he came back and said, come pick it up for $1,200. So just know, when you get offers, you do not have to. There's plenty more out there, and people will come back to you, and they will take your offer.
And that chiropractic table.
That's another one.
Which is crazy.
We found a chiropractic table. The guy had it for $700. I offered him $350. He didn't even respond back. A week later, he wrote me back and said, hey, you can have it for free if you can come pick it up tomorrow. So why didn't you take my $350 offer? He told me I could have it for free. Melissa and I went there and got it. We sold it for $2,250, $2,250, and we got it for free.
His was coming that day or that next day, and he needed it out so he could put the new chair in, and he just needed it gone. But still, I would still think he would say $350, but he didn't. He said, come get it.
We're not the exception on these stories. You're going to come across them as well, where you're going to get stuff for free. You're going to get stuff for cheap. It's fun. It is out there. So just know that. But that's how the bonus will work. We will send you in your inbox. We'll send you a video. Typically, it's going to be about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on what we find. And we're going to walk you through the whole process so you understand it.
See, that's awesome. Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, and that's basically what they did with us in that video that you're going to get as a bonus. Luke and I got on with them, and they just kind of walked through our area, and he pointed out, some items that, we should buy, basically. And then, so, I mean, that's why I believe in this so much. I mean, if you'll take action, I have 100% confidence that they know what they're talking about and it's going to work for you. I mean, that's it. So, again, obviously you have to look at your own finances and everything. If it's not the right time, it's not the right time. But if you can swing it, and this is something that, you think you might want to do, even all the little problems you can solve. So like if you like the idea and the concept, then you're good. There's ways to solve, how will I get the items or all that jazz. Because again, be strategic in what you pick, even if you have a small area. The thing I got, like I said, it was about a foot by maybe 18 inches by about 30 inches tall. So, I mean, it didn't take up much space. So it would fit anywhere. And I made, sold it for $2,500, bought it for $150. So it would have fit. I mean, it would have fit in, technically it would have fit in the trunk of a car, so, or definitely an SUV or whatever. So, I mean, you didn't need a truck to get it, or a trailer or anything like that. So.
Well,
we also do have a very active and support community that if you do have those questions, if you do have those roadblocks when they come up, people have been there, they've done it. It's really cool to see, like some of, I think of Gina was asking all these questions, and now she's the one in there answering the questions because she's done it, and she's, it's just pretty cool to see everybody help out. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That community that, for those of you in the Book Profits community, they have a very similar community currently. With people in it actively doing it and things like that. So, you're not going to be on your own is the point. Like they're which is why Luke and I are partnering with them to do some other, software and advanced stuff to help, things. Right now, it's a little bit manual, but hopefully soon there'll be some automations and things like that to help you guys out. But for now, you're gonna learn how to do it. But you won't be alone. That's the main thing. That they have a community just like we do in Book Profits. So you guys cover eBay and how to set up an account and that kind of stuff, correct? In there, because I've got Diana. She went to eBay and she couldn't quite find how to start the account. So you guys go over how to do all that, correct?
100% start to finish. We can get you opening your eBay account and then getting up to scaling it and selling the high profit items. Yes, it's from start to finish. We'll cover all that.
Yeah, so it's in there.
Awesome. Well, guys, my first thing is, unfortunately, Rob missed the navy blue T-shirt night memo, I guess. Whatever. But guys, we're gonna close out here. However, we'll still be in the chat. We have a few of you that I want to respond to directly, kind of privately in the chat. If you have any more questions, or if anything is holding you back, please ask in there. We'll leave it up for a couple more minutes. And then once we close out, and let's just say 5-ish minutes, that'll be it for the bonus. So make sure you jump in if you need to. Rob, Melissa, thanks so much. That's so much fun to do that with you guys. It's amazing. Everybody really appreciated it. So,
always fun, always fun. You guys are amazing.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for jumping on with us. And we'll be on for a couple more minutes. Please hop on. If you have any questions, let us know. And we'll see everybody else on the other side. We look forward to doing the biz with you. See you later.
Take care.